Chapter 59. I understand now. Night Sorrow jumped behind the big tree and looked at the bloodthirsty Wolf King through the big tree. With the tree between the man and beast, the bloodthirsty Wolf King's charge was in vain. When it was still some distance away from the tree, it slowed down. The bloodthirsty Wolf King, which had slowed down and rushed to Night Sorrow's side, leaped over the ancient tree and opened its mouth to bite at Night Sorrow. However, at this moment, Night Sorrow took small steps and circled to the other side. Following this, Night Sorrow did not attack. He just circled around the ancient tree and the bloodthirsty Wolf King. He ran close to the tree and was more agile than the bloodthirsty Wolf King, so the bloodthirsty Wolf King could not attack him. Being circled by Night Sorrow around the ancient tree, the bloodthirsty Wolf King became more and more berserk. Its jumping height also became higher and higher, constantly pouncing towards Night Sorrow. At this moment, Imo-chen's longsword was in his hand. He was very worried that something would happen to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow had been patiently waiting for the bloodthirsty Wolf King. He was waiting for the bloodthirsty Wolf King to become impatient and wait for an opportunity. He did not dare to meet the bloodthirsty Wolf King head-on, because it was too strong. Now that the bloodthirsty Wolf King had gone berserk and was jumping high, he knew that his opportunity had come. When the bloodthirsty Wolf King jumped up again, Night Sorrow made his move. All the energy in his body was poured into the reincarnation spear. Following that, the true chi in his dantian exploded and released the 12th layer of vibration energy. The reincarnation spear pierced towards the bloodthirsty Wolf King's chest. When he attacked, Night Sorrow leaned back. He was worried that the bloodthirsty Wolf King's charge would be too strong. Seeing Night Sorrow attack, the bloodthirsty Wolf King lowered its body and grabbed the reincarnation spear with its claws. Its big mouth bit towards Night Sorrow. Die. Night Sorrow released all the vibration energy in the reincarnation spear and continued to stab forward. Buzz. The reincarnation spear vibrated and emitted a low hum as it blocked the bloodthirsty Wolf King's 2 front claws. The reincarnation spear continued forward and pierced the bloodthirsty Wolf King's chest. After stabbing the bloodthirsty Wolf King's chest, Night Sorrow punched the end of the spear with his left hand. Borrowing the force of the rebound, he rolled away from the bloodthirsty Wolf King's body. Night Sorrow's feet shook as he rolled away, and his body fell towards the bloodthirsty Wolf King's back. At this moment, the bloodthirsty Wolf King, which had suffered a fatal blow, had a 2-foot spear shaft sticking out of its abdomen. The tip of the spear was sticking out of its back, making it difficult for it to move. Night Sorrow landed on the bloodthirsty Wolf King's neck. His right hand grabbed the bloodthirsty Wolf King's ears and scalp, while his left hand clenched into a fist. After 6 or 7 consecutive punches, the bloodthirsty Wolf King's body went limp. Aside from the wound in its chest and abdomen, its skull had also been shattered by Night Sorrow. Letting out a sigh of relief, Night Sorrow stood up and pulled out the reincarnation spear. He wiped it on the bloodthirsty Wolf King's fur. Is this your first battle? Imo-chen looked at Night Sorrow as if he was looking at a monster. No, when I was in Bamboo Garden Village, I often went out to hunt. However, at that time I didn't cultivate. I could deal with rank 1 demonic beasts, but I would run away if I met rank 2 demonic beasts. Night Sorrow was thinking about how to deal with the bloodthirsty Wolf King's corpse. He definitely had to keep its head. Just pretend I didn't ask. If I directly put the bloodthirsty Wolf King's corpse into my storage belt, can yours fit? Imo-chen was rendered speechless by Night Sorrow. Without cultivating, he was able to deal with all demonic beasts within rank 1. What kind of combat talent was this? Imo-chen was a little shocked. Yes, I can. Night Sorrow turned his arm and patted his storage belt, putting away the bloodthirsty Wolf King's corpse. His storage belt was picked out by Gong Xian, so it had a lot of space. Your storage belt is the same as mine. It's a top-notch storage belt. When you're strong enough, you can go and do a heaven rank sect mission or a gold rank mission in Tianji Tower. Then you'll be able to get a storage ring. Imo-chen said. Then we'll have to wait. This is the territory of the bloodthirsty Wolf King. There are no demonic beasts here. Let's go somewhere else and get some tasty game. Night Sorrow asked for Imo-chen's opinion. Of course I'll listen to you. Imo-chen nodded. After leaving the bloodthirsty Wolf Valley, The two got on a flying demonic beast and flew for 200 li. They hunted down 2 sparrows and found a campsite. Night Sorrow started a fire and roasted the meat. After eating and drinking to their fill, the two went straight to bed. Night Sorrow witnessed Emochen's carefreeness. The golden-winged eagle rested on an ancient tree, while Emochen lay down on its back. He even had the golden-winged eagle point its wings up to shield him from the wind. Night Sorrow took out the bearskin and laid it on the ground, letting Tianyu rest on it while he meditated on the side. His cultivation had reached the bottleneck of the 7th stage of qi refining, and he could break through to the 8th stage at any time. Original. Q1 Unspecified Currency FE. After cultivating for an entire night, Night Sorrow and Emochen rode Tianyu and the golden-winged eagle towards the Black Forest Mountain. Night Sorrow had another mission, which was to collect black iron grass. The mission summary said that there were no large demonic beasts in the Black Forest Mountain, only black poison scorpions. They usually hid underground and attacked humans when they encountered them, making them very difficult to defend against. Night Sorrow wasn't afraid of this. He had seen Tianyu eat scorpions before. The scorpions didn't run away when they saw him, which meant that Tianyu was a natural counter to scorpions. Black poison scorpions are low level, but they are large in number. You have to be on guard at all times. This is a poison repellent powder. Once you enter the Black Forest Mountain, sprinkle some on yourself, Emochen said to Night Sorrow. This was the reason why he didn't oppose Night Sorrow when he accepted the mission. He had some poison repellent powder on him that could repel poisonous insects. Senior brother, normal scorpions and poisonous snakes won't dare to move when they see Tianyu. If Tianyu follows me, the black poison scorpions won't attack me, Night Sorrow said. Looks like you've already prepared for this. Tianyu has the bloodline of the ancient Azurpung, which is a natural counter to poisonous snakes and scorpions. This is indeed a good idea. Looks like this mission won't be too difficult. Emochen nodded. He didn't expect Night Sorrow to already have a plan. When they arrived at the Black Forest Mountain, Night Sorrow finally understood what it meant to be barren. He had never seen a mountain like this before. Bamboo Garden Village was surrounded by deep mountains and ancient forests. Gunnan Town had to cross the great wilderness to reach Red Flame City, and there were thousands or tens of thousands of years old trees. Here, however, it was all pitch-black rocks with occasional thorns. There are countless black poison scorpions living under the Black Forest Mountain. The soil is full of poison, which makes it difficult for plants to grow. However, it's suitable for the growth of black iron grass. The golden-winged eagle, and I won't go down, will patrol in the air for you. Don't let Tianyu go too far away from you. That won't be enough of a deterrent. Emochen said to Night Sorrow. All right, senior martial brother, just wait for me. After saying goodbye to Emochen, Night Sorrow commanded Tianyu to descend. After landing, Tianyu's golden eyes stared at the pitch-black ground. Then he pecked at the ground, and a half-foot-long scorpion was pulled out by Tianyu. The scorpion was motionless as it was swallowed by Tianyu. Tianyu, lead the way. I want to find black iron grass. Seeing that Tianyu was suppressing the black poison scorpions, Night Sorrow felt confident. After half an hour, Night Sorrow had collected nearly 100 stalks of black iron grass. It was enough for him to complete the mission. However, Night Sorrow was also researching alchemy, so he planned to collect more. After all, Tianyu was having a great time eating the black poison scorpions. For hours later, Night Sorrow had collected more than 500 stalks of black iron grass. Worried that the golden-winged eagle would be tired after circling in the air, Night Sorrow rode Tianyu into the sky. Looks like you've had a good harvest, Emochen said when he saw Night Sorrow and Tianyu taking to the sky. Chapter 60. Let's rest for a night and hand in the quest tomorrow. You're really fast at completing the quest. If you do it continuously, you'll enter the bronze rank very quickly, Emochen said to Night Sorrow. The two of them found a safe place and set up camp beside a pool. After eating, Night Sorrow began to cultivate. As soon as he started cultivating, Night Sorrow felt that he was on the verge of a breakthrough. After greeting Emochen and letting Tianyu be on guard, Night Sorrow began to break through after eating 1/3 of the spirit congealing pill. Night Sorrow's saturated dantian could no longer absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. He controlled the true qi circulation in his dantian. After entering a relatively stable stage, Night Sorrow introduced the medicinal power of the spirit congealing pill into his dantian, and then vibrated his true qi to expand his dantian. With the vibration of the true qi in Night Sorrow's dantian, the space in his dantian became bigger and bigger. When the true qi could no longer vibrate outside, Night Sorrow's dantian also appeared to condense the 8th true qi halo. Controlling the medicinal power of the spirit congealing pill to enter his dantian, Night Sorrow also began to absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth to condense the 8th true qi halo. Emo-chun, who was sitting not far away, seemed to be drinking wine leisurely, but he had been vigilantly observing his surroundings and paying attention to Night Sorrow's situation at all times. It took Night Sorrow a day to condense the 8th halo in his dantian. This was slower than ordinary people. The main reason was that Night Sorrow broke through too quickly some time ago. The first 7 halos were not solid. When Night Sorrow condensed the 8th halo, some of the energy was intercepted by the first 7 halos. This breakthrough solved the drawbacks of the previous fast cultivation, but Night Sorrow was also a little scared. This was the problem that broke out early. If it broke out when he was advancing from refining qi to gathering qi, it would be easy for him to fail. It could be seen from the difficulty of this breakthrough. 13. Your advancement this time is a little slow. Is there a problem? Emo-chun asked when he saw Night Sorrow wake up. Yi Shang nodded and explained the problem that had occurred to him. It's a good thing that the problem appeared early. In the future, try to suppress it as much as possible before you advance. It's a taboo for cultivators to be too hasty and have an unstable foundation. Emo-chun reminded Night Sorrow. I'll be careful. Night Sorrow also noticed the severity of the problem. After packing up, the two of them set off. Night Sorrow sat on Tianyu's back, trying his best to stabilize his cultivation. Night Sorrow had originally planned to take the qi amassing pill after advancing, but now he decided to take it slowly. He wanted to stabilize his cultivation and build a solid foundation before taking it. It took Night Sorrow and Emo-chun a day to return to Danding City. The two of them took a shower and had some food before heading to Tianji Tower. This time Night Sorrow and Emo-chun didn't encounter any mad dogs. They went straight into Tianji Tower. The person who received them was an ordinary-looking woman in black. She brought Night Sorrow and Emo-chun to a private room. After entering the room, Night Sorrow took out the bloodthirsty wolf king's corpse and the black iron grass. The woman in black looked at the mission description and the time to accept the mission. She looked at Night Sorrow carefully and then shook her head. She went out to register Night Sorrow's points and rewards. Both missions had quite a lot of money and points, but the most valuable reward was still the spirit stones. 11th Senior Brother, why did she shake her head? Is she not satisfied with the bloodthirsty wolf king's corpse or the black iron grass? Night Sorrow said after taking a sip of tea. No, she just doesn't care. She thinks that you're not the one who did this mission. She thinks you're a spoiled brat from a big family. She thinks that the seniors are the ones who did the mission and you should take the reward. Emo-chun said with a smile. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and felt that what Emo-chun said was possible. The woman in black brought over the reward. After putting it away, Night Sorrow asked for the mission list. He then picked 2 missions that had high points and were relatively suitable for him. Only then did he leave with Emo-chun. After sending off Night Sorrow and Emo-chun, the woman in black sent Night Sorrow's information to Enforcer Dong. She had noticed that Night Sorrow was the focus of Tianji Tower's attention when she received the mission reward for Night Sorrow, so she immediately reported the situation to Enforcer Dong. After looking at the time and situation of Night Sorrow's completion of the mission, Enforcer Dong took Night Sorrow's information to the top floor of Tianji Tower. In a private room on the top floor of Tianji Tower, Sikong, who was wearing an elegant blue dress, was drinking tea. My lady, Night Sorrow completed the mission. Enforcer Dong handed Night Sorrow's information to Sikong. Sikong looked at the information and then stood up. Let's go to the warehouse and take a look at the bloodthirsty wolf king's corpse. In the warehouse of Tianji Tower, Enforcer Dong looked at the bloodthirsty wolf king's corpse. Sikong also looked carefully. This was killed by Night Sorrow alone. Emochin didn't do anything. I saw his marksmanship that day. It's very good, but it's still not enough to kill the bloodthirsty Wolf King. Enforcer Dong shook his head. Look at the wound on the bloodthirsty Wolf King's corpse. When the bloodthirsty Wolf King was about to pounce, he used his gun. Not all of the fur on the bloodthirsty Wolf King's front claws were shaken off. I remember that his marksmanship that day had the power of vibration. The crack on the bloodthirsty Wolf King's head was caused by a punch. It took a few punches to crack its head. If it was Emochin, then one punch would be enough. It would take him less than 4 days to complete 2 missions. Even with a flying tamed beast, it's still very efficient. Sikong took out a handkerchief to wipe her hands, and then left the warehouse. Night Sorrow and Emochin entered a restaurant, and sat on the second floor near the street. They ordered a few dishes and took out Uncle Nio's strong liquor to drink. Who are those people? Or are they city guards opening the way? Night Sorrow asked as he looked at the street below. In Yi Shang's line of sight, 2 groups of city guards were leading the way. Behind them were 2 middle-aged men, and behind the middle-aged men were several white-clothed youths. When Night Sorrow was talking, one of the middle-aged men in brocade turned his head to look at Night Sorrow. The young men followed his gaze and saw Night Sorrow. After looking at Night Sorrow for a while, the middle-aged man in brocade turned around and continued forward. People from the Golden Flame sect. Alas. Emochin sighed. Night Sorrow didn't say anything. The Medicine Valley was a subordinate force of the Golden Flame sect. People from the Golden Flame sect naturally had a strong sense of superiority when they came to the Medicine Valley. The situation will change, Night Sorrow said after a while. He could see that Emochin was a bit hesitant. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. Maybe those people are all experts. They were alerted when you looked at them. The young man walking in the front is a core disciple of the Golden Flame sect. Emochin said. Night Sorrow took a sip of liquor and continued to eat. It was not the first time he had heard about the Golden Flame sect. They were overbearing, but Night Sorrow didn't think it had much to do with him. You don't think it has much to do with you? Emochin seemed to know what Night Sorrow was thinking. I'm just a new disciple. What can I do with them? Night Sorrow looked at Emochin confusedly. Chapter 61. Does the Golden Flame sect belong to a lot of forces? Night Sorrow asked. Yes, there are more than a dozen first-class forces, more than 30 second-class forces, and the rest are unrated forces. However, no one can underestimate these unrated forces. Last time, the second and third place were taken by disciples of these unrated forces. Their forces only need to hand over 1/10 of their industry income and resource production for the next 10 years. Emochin explained the situation to Yishang. Then which force got the first place? What's our Medicine Valley's ranking? Night Sorrow asked. The first place belongs to the Golden Flame sect. Our Medicine Valley got the 5th and 7th place, so we need to hand over 30% of our resources. Are you trying to ask why our Medicine Valley's ranking is so low? Emochin looked at Night Sorrow and said. Yes, our Medicine Valley has so many disciples, but we only got the 5th and 7th place? Night Sorrow didn't believe that the Medicine Valley's strength was so much worse than the other forces. There's an age limit. Last time, no one from Taishan Peak participated in the regional competition. The disciples of the other peaks under the age of 30 don't have any advantage over the other forces. Next time you might have a chance, Emochin said with a smile. Night Sorrow didn't say anything, but he was a little unhappy. As a disciple of the Medicine Valley, he felt a little aggrieved when he saw others showing off in the Medicine Valley's territory. After eating, the two returned to the inn, took a bath, and went to cultivate. In another room of the inn, Qin Zhan, Qin Hai, and a few other disciples of Tianyue Peak were sitting. A middle-aged man was sitting in the main seat. According to what you said, that Night Sorrow from Taishan Peak might have cultivated a rank 2 combat skill. His talent is quite good. This time, I brought you the cloud-piercing sword and wind-fire rod. They are both top rank 2 combat skills. Cultivate well and defeat that Night Sorrow in the newcomer competition. The middle-aged man took out 2 ancient books and put them on the table. Qin Hai and the other disciple each took a book. Both of them were outer sect disciples of Tianhua Peak, but their cultivations had already entered the Yuan gathering realm. Qin Zhan used his sect contribution points to exchange for a qi-breaking pill and 3 spirit-increasing pills for Qin Hai. This was also the reason why Qin Hai was able to enter the essence gathering realm so quickly. The essence increasing pill was a pill used by the essence gathering realm to rapidly increase one's strength. Just like the qi gathering pill of the qi refining realm, it could increase one's strength by 1 level. Each of you also have 3 yuan increasing pills. These are given to you by senior brother Luo. He hopes that you can boost your morale during the newcomer competition. Didn't the Taishan Peak recruit newcomers? Then let's destroy their prestige during the newcomer competition. The middle-aged man took out another bottle of pills. Thank you, Martial Uncle. Qin Zhan cupped his hands towards the middle-aged man. The middle-aged man was Chen Fu, the protector of Tianhua Peak's Merit Palace Hall. This time, he was arranged by Luo Daoyuan to deliver resources to Qin Hai and the other outer sect disciple, Kong Jun. It's nothing, as long as you work hard. I heard that Night Sorrow is the last disciple of the Taishan Peak's Peak Master. If you defeat him as a 3rd-generation disciple, then the Taishan Peak's face will look good. Alright, work hard on your cultivation. Chen Fu got up and left the room. Now that you have yuan increasing pills to increase your cultivation, you don't have to focus on Zhenqi cultivation for the time being. Go to Tianji Tower and do more missions to stabilize your cultivation. After a period of time, take a yuan increasing pill, and then go to stabilize your cultivation. I don't think that Night Sorrow can compare with you. Thinking about Night Sorrow, Qin Zhan's heart was filled with anger. He had been in the Medicine Valley for almost 10 years, and was a 3rd-generation disciple. Night Sorrow had just arrived and was already a 2nd-generation disciple. This made him feel extremely unbalanced. If there's a chance, I'll definitely kill him, Qin Hai said coldly. Alright, let's go to Tianji Tower and do missions. Qin Zhan stood up and walked out of the inn. After cultivating for 2 days, Night Sorrow and Mo Chen set out to continue doing missions and practicing actual combat. Half a month had passed. Night Sorrow had accepted 4 missions. Each time there were 2 missions, and he had completed all of them. While completing the missions, Night Sorrow had also completely stabilized his Zhenqi. When he found that there were no good missions, Night Sorrow told Mo Chen that he was going to take a qi-gathering pill to cultivate. Mo Chen carefully looked at Night Sorrow. When he saw that Night Sorrow's foundation was very stable, he nodded. Go Yef. The qi-gathering pill was the best pill to improve one's cultivation in the qi refining stage. Apart from not being able to help one advance, it could provide a steady stream of energy for refining. After taking a fasting pill and adjusting his state, Night Sorrow took a qi-gathering pill and began to cultivate. In another inn, Qin Hai was a bit flustered and exasperated. The Black Iron missions with higher points have all been completed. Now the remaining missions are either escorting merchants or guarding the house. Originally there were quite a lot of missions. When we came back from a trip, they were all done. I don't even know which bastard did it. Kong Jun said gloomily. Alright, if there are no suitable missions, then wait for next month. You guys should first stabilize your cultivation, Qin Zhan said. In fact, it was not only Qin Hai and Kong Jun who were gloomy. Many Black Iron token holders in Danding City were also gloomy. Tianji Tower also knew about this situation. Enforcer Dong also had no other choice. The missions were issued once a month, and there were not many missions in the area. Yi Shang had been cultivating all this time. When the effects of the fasting pill wore off, he ate it and continued cultivating. It took Yi Shang 6 days to completely refine the effects of the energy-gathering pill. His cultivation had also reached the peak of the 8th level of qi refinement. How do you feel? Seeing Night Sorrow come out of his room, Principal Mo Chen asked. The peak of qi refining stage 8. My strength has increased a lot. Night Sorrow clenched his fist and said, well, at the beginning of the month tomorrow, we can continue to do missions. Mo Chen handed Night Sorrow a cup of tea and said, at the beginning of every month, Tianji Tower would release new missions. As a bronze token holder, Mo Chen was very clear about this. After resting for a night, Night Sorrow and Emo-chan arrived at Tianji Tower early. When they entered, they saw Seekong in a simple and elegant dress. Well, follow me. Seekong led Night Sorrow and Emo-chan into a private room. I want to do a black iron mission. Night Sorrow went straight to the point. Seekong's arm shook, and a few pieces of animal skin paper appeared in her hand. She took out a black one and handed it to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow understood that Seekong's status in Tianji Tower was very high. The last few times he came here, the reception staff only had black mission drawings. Black iron-ranked missions are in high demand. You know what happened last month, Seekong reminded Yishan. Thank you. This, and this. Night Sorrow looked at the mission drawings, and his finger slid on them. The mission did not have a time limit, and the mission points were high. Night Sorrow felt that he could complete it, so he took it all. Chapter 62. Okay, thank you for reminding me. Night Sorrow cupped his hands towards Seekong. Okay, you might not be able to remember so many missions. Let me make a copy for you. Seekong sat down and took out a pen and paper to organize the missions that Night Sorrow had accepted. He also organized them according to the time and distance. Thank you. Night Sorrow said after putting away the mission list that Seekong had copied. Don't mention it. I wish you success. Seekong nodded towards Night Sorrow with a smile. Yishang and Emo-chan took the mission list and left the Celestial Terminus Tower. After Night Sorrow and Emo-chan left, Seekong handed over half of the mission list that had been accepted by Night Sorrow to Enforcer Dong. What? How come almost half of it went down? The rest of the missions have low points. Enforcer Dong looked at the mission list in surprise. The fat ones were all taken by that kid. If Danding City had 2 such freaks, then no one else would be able to take on the Black Iron missions. Seekong said with a smile. Then should we go to other cities to get more missions with rewards? Enforcer Dong asked. No need. They will only rush to do the missions if there are few of them. Seekong said and then left. After leaving Tianji Tower, Night Sorrow and Emo-chan drove the beast carriage out of the city gate and rode the golden-winged eagle and Tianyu to do missions. Night Sorrow chose to take the missions that had a time limit. He had also arranged the route, so he could not waste time on running. When Night Sorrow and Emo-chan went to do missions, the inner court of Tianji Tower was in an uproar. It was not because of anything else, but because the missions with high rewards and points were all taken by other people. This made many Black Iron token holders very angry. Among the angry people were Qin Zhan, Qin Hai, and Kong Jun. They were very annoyed after seeing the mission list. They did not do many missions last month, and this month, the good missions were gone. At this time, some people wanted to ask for an explanation from Tianji Tower. Hearing this, Qin Zhan, Qin Hai, and Kong Jun also joined the ranks and vaguely became the leaders. Seekong, who was originally reading an ancient book on the top floor, went downstairs and came to the lobby. They said that we controlled the missions internally and left the missions to others. Enforcer Dong said to Seekong. Not to mention not leaving the missions, so what if they were left? Why are you making a fuss? If there are missions, you do them. Seekong glanced at the lobby with her beautiful eyes and said coldly. The missions. How? The owner of the Iron Medallion and Bronze Medallion? If you are dissatisfied with the Empyrean Apex Tower, or have any other ideas, put down the token and scram. Hearing Qin Zhan's questioning, Seekong directly replied coldly. You are too overbearing. We want to see your manager? Qin Zhan could not hold his face after hearing Seekong's words. Enforcer Dong, if they talk nonsense again, send people out. Seekong finished and left without looking at Qin Zhan. You are the enforcer here, right? Can you give us an explanation about the mission? If you can't, then call the manager out. Qin Zhan said to Enforcer Dong. I am the manager of Tianji Tower's Danding City. There is no explanation. Guards, if you make any more noise, your status in Tianji Tower will be revoked. Enforcer Dong did not look at Qin Zhan, and directly called for the guards. Qin Zhan's face was as black as the bottom of a pot. Tianji Tower did not treat him as a dish. Square root newer uk fastest 1 G on M3. Big brother, let's go. Qin Hai pulled Qinjian away. At this time, Qinjian really did not have a way out. After Qin Hai pulled Qinjian out of Tianji Tower, he took a trivial mission with Kong Jun. Knight Sorrow went to Tianji Tower during the day to do missions. At night, he worked hard to cultivate the Sage Cauldron Scripture and Myriad Tao Tome. His cultivation improved very quickly and steadily. After eating the Qi Gathering Pill, Knight Sorrow had reached the peak of Qi Refining Stage 8. He could break through, but Knight Sorrow wanted to settle down. Using 9 days, Yishang finished all the missions that he was rushing for. He also planned to make a breakthrough. After 9 days of fighting with the demonic beasts and bandits, Yishang felt that his foundation was not unstable. After returning to Danding City, Knight Sorrow and Mo Chun sat in the beast carriage, chatting and drinking as they rushed to Tianji Tower. 13 mission points can be used to upgrade your level. You can also exchange for some resources. Do you have anything you want to exchange? Mo Chun said to Knight Sorrow. Let's not exchange for now. I don't know when I will be able to upgrade to the Qingtong token. Once I reach the Qingtong token level, I can take on high-level missions. Knight Sorrow said, shaking his head. I didn't make it clear to you. Points can be used. This will not affect your upgrade to the Black Iron token. The upgrade to the Black Iron token depends on the total points you have. The points used and the remaining points are calculated separately. Mo Chun said to Knight Sorrow. Senior brother, I have some medicinal pills. I don't want to exchange them for now. Knight Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Some medicinal pills are necessary. For example, the Qi Breaking Pill. It will make it easier for you to enter the Qi Gathering stage. Mo Chun did not expect Knight Sorrow to be so insistent. I have one Qi Breaking Pill. Knight Sorrow said. You do? Then you don't need it. When you enter the Qi Gathering stage, the sect will give you medicinal pills that can help with cultivation. However, there is one type of pill that the sect will not give you. You have to exchange for it with the sect's merit points. That is the Qi Increasing Pill. It has the same effect as the Qi Gathering Pill used in the Qi Refining stage. It can increase your cultivation by 1 level. Mo Chun said to Knight Sorrow. Qi Increasing Pill? Then if I have a lot of money and get more Qi Increasing Pills, my cultivation will increase quickly. Knight Sorrow said with some surprise. You're thinking too much. This type of medicinal pill has a limit for each stage. The Qi Refining stage can only take 3 Qi Gathering pills. The same goes for the Qi Gathering stage. The Qi Gathering stage can only take 3 Qi Gathering pills. Mo Chun explained to Knight Sorrow. He knew that in many aspects, Knight Sorrow was a layman. When Yi Shang asked this question, Qin Hai was also at a loss. Qinjian had spent a lot of the sect's merit points to exchange for 3 essence increasing pills. In the end, Luo Daoyuan had given him another 3. He could only look at the remaining 3. The heavens reward the diligent. Medicinal pills were indispensable on the path of cultivation. However, one could not rely on medicinal pills endlessly. The true qi that one could slowly cultivate would be relatively smooth. If one relied on medicinal pills to cultivate, the Ling Qi would be somewhat lacking. In the Qi Gathering stage, taking 3 Qi Increasing pills was still within control. However, if one took more, the true Qi in their dantian would become stagnant. Then when I have enough merit points, I'll go exchange for them. I should go get another Qi Gathering pill. Knight Sorrow said after thinking for a while. He had just used 1 Qi Gathering pill, and was about to leave the Qi Refining stage. He felt that he should not waste this opportunity. He should directly get another Qi Gathering pill to reach the peak of the Qi Refining stage. Chapter 63. As the two chatted, they arrived at Tianji Tower. Si Kong was not there, so Knight Sorrow handed in the mission to the ordinary staff and left Tianji Tower with Mo Chun. After returning to the inn, Knight Sorrow greeted Mo Chun and went to his room to prepare for his advancement. Mo Chun moved a chair and took a nap in front of Knight Sorrow's room. Advancement was not dangerous, and even if he failed, it would not harm his body too much, so he was not too worried. Knight Sorrow ate half a core condensing pill and began to cultivate. This was the last advancement of the Qi Refining realm. After the advancement, he would have to prepare for the Qi Gathering realm. After filling his dantian with the energy of the core condensing pill, it could not hold anymore, so it began to vibrate and expand. The capacity of the dantian determined the amount of zhenqi that could be stored. This was something that practitioners had to face at every level. Night Sorrow's progress in expanding his dantian was very smooth. Next was to condense the 9th zhenqi halo. Inside the Danding City Lord's mansion, Ao Yushan was drinking tea with two people standing in front of him. Lord Mayor, the Black Shadow brothers heard that Night Sorrow was a disciple of Taishian Peak, so they were not willing to accept the mission. They heard that Emo Chun was with Night Sorrow, so they directly rejected the mission. The man in front of Ao Yushan said, Emo Chun is here, and they are not willing to accept the mission. Then tell them that there is no time limit. They can wait until Emo Chun is not here. The reward of 10,000 gold and 800 mid-grade soul stones will not change. Ao Yushan said, Okay, then I will contact them again. The man left. His name was Hua Wuji, and he was Ao Yushan's absolute confidant. In the Eastern Xian region, the exchange rate for soul stones was 100 low-grade soul stones for 1 mid-grade soul stone, and 100 mid-grade soul stones for 1 upper-grade soul stone. Ao Yushan sent Hua Wuji to Tianji Tower for the mission, and the price that Tianji Tower offered was 30 upper-grade soul stones, which was equivalent to 3,000 mid-grade soul stones. Ao Yushan could not afford it, so he went to find other assassins. However, it was said that even the disciples of Taishian Peak were not willing to take this job. Yu Yangyu had destroyed the Four Seas sect for a disciple. This was not a secret in Danding Mountain Range. Recently, Hua Wuji had contacted the Black Shadow brothers, who were very famous in the assassin circle, but they had not come to an agreement. Night Sorrow used half a day to condense the 9th True Chi Halo. When the 9th True Chi Halo began to revolve on its own, Night Sorrow's aura changed, officially entering the 9th rank of Chi refining. Feeling Night Sorrow's aura, Emo Chun breathed a sigh of relief and drank 2 mouthfuls of wine. After stabilizing his cultivation, Night Sorrow walked out of the room. You succeeded. Congratulations, number 13. Emo Chun said with a smile. Night Sorrow looked at Emo Chun and said, It's just a promotion. Thank you for guarding me. Let's go do the mission after we eat? That's fine. You also want to see how much your strength has increased after the promotion. Finish the mission, then come back and slowly settle down. Emo Chun nodded. He knew that Night Sorrow still had a lot of Tianji Tower missions on hand. After eating, Emo Chun thought for a while, and decided to let Night Sorrow take a bath and have a good sleep. They would go out to do the mission tomorrow. He realized that Night Sorrow was like a taut rope that needed to be relaxed. Night Sorrow did not have any objections to Emo Chun's decision. He knew that Emo Chun's arrangement was for his own good. Night Sorrow and Emo Chun chatted for a long time on the night when they did not cultivate. Emo Chun even asked the waiter to add a bed in the room. Night Sorrow slept very well that night. In the middle of the night, Emo Chun woke up and covered Night Sorrow with a blanket. Looking at Night Sorrow, who was still frowning in his sleep, Emo Chun shook his head. This was just a child. After a good night's rest, Night Sorrow woke up early. While Night Sorrow was practicing martial arts and washing up, Emo Chun asked the waiter to prepare the food. How is it? Do you feel refreshed once in a while? Emo Chun said with a smile as he looked at Night Sorrow, who had just finished washing up. That's right, but this will develop laziness, Yishan said. That's right. Didn't I tell you to relax once in a while? Emo Chun said as he slapped Night Sorrow. After breakfast, the two set off in the beast carriage. Emo Chun, who was sitting in the beast carriage, opened the window and sang a folk song outside, causing a burst of screams from the girls who were shopping. Senior, I didn't know. Night Sorrow said with a smile. He realized that Emo Chun had changed a lot during this time. He was completely different from when he was in front of Guan Ye's tomb. Haha. That's right. When I was at home, there were many rich girls who liked me. Emo Chun said with a smile. Night Sorrow knew that Emo Chun was not lying. Emo Chun was handsome, especially with his eyes that seemed to be filled with vicissitudes and stories. He was a fatal attraction to women. Senior, do you have anyone in mind? Night Sorrow asked. He knew that among his seniors, only Wu Qi and Shi Tianlin were married. You have to help me keep this a secret. Emo-chun said. Seeing Night Sorrow nod, Emo-cho said that he had a girl in mind. She was the cousin of Danding Peak's eldest disciple, Chu-ling Xiao. When Guan Yi was still alive, the two of them would often go sightseeing. If not for the conflict between Chu-ling Xiao and Aoi, the two of them would have been discussing marriage. However, after Guan Yi's accident, the two of them had not met. You didn't see her when you went back? Night Sorrow asked. No, of course not. I haven't seen her in over 10 years. I don't even know what's going on with her. Plus, if Six's senior sister knew that I had a relationship with Chu-ling Xiao's sister, she would strangle me to death. Emo-chun said with a bitter smile. Senior, these are two different things. Six's senior sister will only be happy if you are doing well. Night Sorrow took out the green blood wine that Aoi had given him and poured half a bowl for Emo-chun. That's true. Six's senior sister and Chu-ling Xiao don't have a death grudge. Emo-chun thought for a while, and felt that Night Sorrow's words made sense. Senior brother, Chu-ling Xiao and Six's senior sister were competing on the stage. There were wins and losses, so how did they become enemies? Yishang couldn't understand this point. Qingji wasn't a narrow-minded person. Emo-chun knew more about this, so he explained it to Night Sorrow in detail. Aoi always had a jade pendant on her. It was left to her by her late mother. During the martial arts tournament, Chu-ling Xiao had defeated Qingji, whose cultivation was lower than his. His weapon had been knocked away, but Qingji's jade pendant had fallen to the ground. Seeing that the jade pendant had fallen, Aoi quickly went to pick it up. However, Chu-ling Xiao thought that Aoi did not want to admit defeat and attacked. Chapter 64. So it was a misunderstanding, but this misunderstanding had serious consequences. After hearing Emo-chun's explanation, Night Sorrow knew that this matter was indeed troublesome. Neither side was in the wrong, but there was an irreconcilable grudge. Yes, this is an irreconcilable grudge. That's why I don't dare to make senior sister angry, Emo-chun said. I'll help you find out when I have time, Night Sorrow said with a smile. No, I don't even know what's going on with Chu-ling Fei. Maybe she's married. Emo-chun sighed. In order to avenge Guan Yi, Emo-chun had been ignoring the outside world for more than 10 years. Night Sorrow couldn't do anything about this. No one knew what would happen after more than 10 years of indifference. After leaving the city, the two of them got on their flying mounts. Their mission this time was to go to a bandit lair and rescue a young lady from a big family. If something happened to the young lady, then they would have to eliminate this group of bandits. According to the mission description, this person was a troublemaker from the mountains. His cultivation base was not high, but he was very familiar with the terrain. The mission's priority was to find this group of bandits. The last place the bandits appeared was near the Black Cloud Swamp. Night Sorrow felt that with Tianyu's help, it wouldn't be hard to find the bandits' hiding place. He also felt that the young lady had no chance. She wouldn't be killed, but it was hard to say whether she would be the wife of the bandit leader or not. Night Sorrow was in charge of the mission. Emo-chun's job was to protect Night Sorrow's safety. Before accepting the Bloodthirsty Wolf King's mission, Emo-chun had been very careful. He didn't dare to let go of Night Sorrow. Many Black Iron missions were done by cultivators of the Qi Gathering Realm. Cultivators of the Qi Refining Realm with the Black Iron token would only do small missions at first. As their cultivation increased, the difficulty of the missions would slowly increase. After Yishang successfully killed the Bloodthirsty Wolf King, Emo-chun didn't think so anymore. He felt that even a cultivator in the early stage of Element Gathering tier was no match for Yishang in terms of battle prowess. Most importantly, Yishang's talent for battle was extremely strong. He knew how to choose the most effective battle strategy based on the terrain and the complexity of the situation. After arriving at the Black Cloud Swamp, Night Sorrow let Tianyu fly at a low altitude around the Black Cloud Swamp to look for clues. The Black Cloud Swamp had a circumference of 300 to 400 miles. Night Sorrow controlled Tianyu to fly at a low altitude. 1 hour later, Night Sorrow let Tianyu land because Night Sorrow saw footprints on the black sand beside the water. It shouldn't be too far from here, Night Sorrow said after squatting down to check the footprints. How can you tell? Perhaps it was left behind in the past, Emo-chan said. Impossible. Although there are no waves here, the humidity is very high. The dew at night is like a drizzle. The footprints can't have been here for more than 3 days, Night Sorrow said with certainty. Hearing Night Sorrow's words, Emo-chan was stunned. He was also an experienced tracker, but he couldn't tell what these footprints were. Looking at the footprints, Night Sorrow led the way in front while Emo-chan followed behind with Tianyu and the golden-winged eagle. Night Sorrow walked and stopped frequently, even when he entered the forest. Although he would stop sometimes to analyze, his speed was definitely not slow. Emo-chan was experienced in tracking in the forest. He knew that Night Sorrow was heading in the right direction. When humans walk through the forest, even if they didn't leave footprints, they would leave traces, such as fallen leaves. Even if they didn't leave footprints, there would still be changes. Night Sorrow walked forward in a zigzag manner, while Emo-chan followed behind with the 2 flying tamed beasts. For hours later, Yishang saw signs of a fire being lit. Senior brother, from the looks of it, the fire was set yesterday. There were many of them, so they couldn't have moved too quickly. I estimate that they are only a few 100 kilometers away from us. Yishan took out a wine jug and took a sip of wine. Yes, that's right. The bones are still very fresh. Emo-chan nodded as he looked at the bones beside the fire. If something happens to the girl, it will be troublesome. We have to kill all of them. Night Sorrow didn't reject killing, but killing all of them still made him feel a little conflicted. The bandits were a group, so there must be children. Even if they didn't kill the children, without the adults to take care of them, the children would still die. It depends on the situation. If something happens to the girl, we will kill all 3 of their leaders and take their heads. The mission will be considered complete, Emo-chan said after thinking for a while. The mission introduction only mentioned the characteristics of the 3 leaders. If they couldn't save the girl, then they would take the heads of the bandits. Senior brother, if the girl is defiled by the bandits and we save her, should we also kill the bandits? Night Sorrow asked after thinking for a while. It depends on the situation. But if you do something wrong, you have to bear the consequences. The leaders of this bandit group must not be left alive, Emo-chan said. The 2 drank some wine and ate some dried meat before continuing on. Night Sorrow still had a lot of missions on hand, so they couldn't waste too much time. They still hadn't caught up with the bandits even when it was night time. The bandits lived in the mountains all year round, so their survival skills were very strong and their speed was also very fast. Looking at the sky, Night Sorrow was a little hesitant. It was very dangerous deep in the mountains at night. If they rashly followed the bandits, they could easily be attacked. Normally we shouldn't chase them. But at this time, they should be setting up camp. Ride on Tianyu and search for 200 to 300 miles in the sky. If we can't find them, we will chase them tomorrow, Emo-chan suggested. Okay. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow felt that Emo-chan's idea was feasible. Tianyu, remember this place. If we can't find the target, we will come back, Night Sorrow said to Tianyu and got on Tianyu's back. Emo-chan rode on the golden-winged eagle and followed Night Sorrow and Tianyu. After ascending into the sky, Night Sorrow looked at the terrain and chose a relatively flat direction to start chasing. After an hour, Night Sorrow discovered a situation. There was smoke rising from a canyon. This was the sign of a fire. Controlling Tianyu to land, Night Sorrow carried the reincarnation spear and crept over. Traps, beast traps, hanging spearboards. Night Sorrow saw a lot of hunters' methods. This made him understand that the bandits he was looking for were most likely in the canyon. If they were cultivators who had a very strong cultivation, they wouldn't do these things. I knew or why newer previous if seeing Night Sorrow avoid one trap after another. Emo-chan understood that although Night Sorrow was young, he was definitely an experienced hunter. After creeping into the canyon, Night Sorrow carefully probed ahead. He wasn't sure if this group of people were bandits, but they were definitely hunters. If he wasn't careful, he would be discovered. Carefully creeping to one side of the canyon, Night Sorrow climbed up the canyon's mountain wall and looked towards the center. Emo-chan followed behind and stayed below the canyon's mountain wall, watching Night Sorrow's actions. With one look, Night Sorrow discovered that these people were the bandits he was looking for. According to the information provided by the big family, There were 3 bandit leaders. One had a scar on his face, one had a neck that was scratched by a demonic beast, and the last one was bald. Night Sorrow saw all 3 of them. At this moment, the bald man was sitting on a tree stump and eating barbecued meat. Beside his feet was a woman whose hands and feet were tied. She was sitting diagonally on the ground. Chapter 65. Second brother, why are you in such a hurry? Let's wait for 2 more days. If he still doesn't yield, then we'll enjoy it together. The bald leader said. These 2 must be killed. After listening to their conversation, Night Sorrow decided to get rid of them. Even bandits had their own morals. These 2 were complete scum. Big brother, second brother, since she's not willing, then forget it. She's still a child. The youth with the scar on his face said. Don't say any more. There's no room for discussion. The bald leader waved his hand and said. Night Sorrow looked at the tied-up girl. Upon closer inspection, she was indeed as the youth with the scar had said. She was only 16 or 17 years old. Following the walls of the canyon, Night Sorrow slowly made his way inside. He wanted to attack from behind. For the sake of the girl's safety, he wanted to kill the bald leader as soon as possible. This time, emotion did not continue to follow. He already had a rough understanding of the situation of the bandits in the canyon. The only ones who could fight were the 3 leaders who had just entered the element gathering realm. The rest of the bandits were just strong hunters. Night Sorrow followed the mountain wall and circled around to the back of this group of people. He descended the mountain wall and approached the group of bandits. When he was about 15 to 15 meters away from the group of bandits, Night Sorrow took out the hand knife he used to cut barbecued meat. With a wave of his hand, he shot the knife towards the scarred second brother. At the same time, he took a step forward and stabbed his spear towards the bald leader's back. When Night Sorrow's hand knife broke through the air, the bandits knew they were being attacked. Second brother jumped and dodged the attack. When the bald leader got up, Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear arrived. In a hurry, the bald leader retreated. He did not understand the situation, and did not dare to act rashly. Standing at the spot where the bald leader had been sitting, Night Sorrow flicked the reincarnation spear in his hand a few times. The ropes on the girl's hands and feet were cut off by Night Sorrow. The cloth in her mouth was also shaken off by Night Sorrow's spear tip. Who are you? The bald leader saw Night Sorrow's young face and immediately felt more confident. Look at M. NB version YQ chapter, section J0s 5" It's alright. Don't be afraid. Stand behind me. Ignoring the baldy, Night Sorrow held his reincarnation spear horizontally and shielded the girl behind him. Then he whistled and Tianyu appeared and landed behind Night Sorrow. There's nothing wrong with being a bandit, but you must have principles. Night Sorrow stomped on the ground and soared into the sky. He executed the wind-chasing spear art, and the reincarnation spear was aimed at the baldy's throat. You haven't even shed your hair. What are you shouting for? You're the one who's looking for death by meddling in other people's business. Bald Big Brother pulled out the machete from his waist and slashed towards the side of Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear. At this moment, Second Brother, who had a scar on his neck, also made his move. He also used a long spear and thrust it towards Night Sorrow's waist. Crack! Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear burst forth with vibrating energy and directly shook off the baldy's machete. Then he quickly extended his arm and pierced through the baldy's throat. After piercing through the baldy's throat, Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear reverberated and hit Second Brother's long spear, who had a terrifying scar on his neck. After shaking Second Brother's long spear away, the reincarnation spear quickly extended towards Second Brother's throat. Realizing that Bald Big Brother was dead, Second Brother retreated. He didn't want to fight anymore. Knowing that he wasn't Night Sorrow's opponent, how could he still dare to fight? He immediately retreated. Night Sorrow extended his right hand and slapped the reincarnation spear's tail with his left hand. The reincarnation spear shot out and chased after Second Brother. The reincarnation spear that was shot out by Night Sorrow's left hand was as fast as lightning. It instantly caught up with Second Brother and pierced through his chest. Night Sorrow's feet shook as he caught up with the reincarnation spear. With a shake of his right hand, he shattered second brother's internal organs. Grabbing the reincarnation spear, Night Sorrow pulled out his right hand and swung the spear towards third brother, who had a scar on his face. "Don't kill him!" The girl not far behind Night Sorrow shouted. Yi Shang stopped. At the moment he was only a few feet away from the third brother with the scar. The third brother with the scar was still retreating. He still has a conscience. If he didn't stop me, I don't know what kind of situation I would be in right now, the girl said. Night Sorrow held the long spear in his hand and looked at third brother. "Please show mercy." Third brother knelt on the ground with one knee. "If you're afraid of death now, you shouldn't have been a bandit in the first place," Night Sorrow said coldly. "I'm not afraid of death. I'm afraid that if I die, no one will take care of them." Third brother turned his head and looked at the bandits in tattered clothes behind him. There were women and children among the bandits. 13 Forget it. They are actually refugees. It's just that their leader is scum. Emochin walked out and chopped off the heads of 2 bandit leaders with 2 slashes. There are many paths to choose from in this world. The most important thing is to constantly strive for self-improvement. Night Sorrow looked at third brother and said, "Brother, please don't kill my third uncle." A little girl came to Night Sorrow's side and knelt down. "Okay, I won't kill him." Night Sorrow nodded his head and put the reincarnation spear back on his back. He also put away the 2 heads. He's strong and can do anything he wants. He was also a hunter some time ago. Look at him now. Choosing the right path is very important. Emochin shook his head helplessly and pointed at Night Sorrow. "I can support myself, but they can't." Third brother said helplessly, "My family is in the cloth business. We need people. If you're willing, you can come work for us." The woman looked at the man and woman in tattered clothes behind third brother and said, "Thank you, sister." The kneeling little girl started to kowtow to the woman. "I'm willing to be a slave if I can take care of these people in the village." Third brother said to the woman, "No, you're different from those 2. I think you should be the same kind of person as them. In order to thank you for what you've done for me these past few days, I'll help you take care of these people. You can pursue your own sky." The woman glanced at Emochin and Yi Shang before speaking to the scarred youth. After leaving the address for third brother, the woman walked to Night Sorrow's side. "Thank you for saving us. If there's nothing else, let's go." 13. Your Tianyu isn't suitable for carrying heavy loads for a long time. Let her sit with me on the golden-winged eagle, Emochin said. Night Sorrow nodded and walked to Tianyu's side. "Wait, can I know your name?" Third brother called out to Night Sorrow. "Night Sorrow of Medicine Valley, Taishian Peak. If you want revenge, come find me at any time." Night Sorrow's body flashed and landed on Tianyu's back. Emochin and Night Sorrow found a safe place with the woman and set up camp. After setting up camp, Night Sorrow began to meditate. "Master, was that young master really a hunter in the past?" The woman beside Emochin looked at Night Sorrow, who was meditating, and asked. "Yes, he became my junior 2 months ago. If he didn't come for the mission, you might have been in trouble." Emochin smiled. Chapter 66. You mean that Yuluo is quite strong? Emochin asked curiously. Yes, Yuluo is the strongest in the group just now. These days, he's been the one fighting the demonic beasts. Normally he's not very strong, but he can transform. After transforming, he can tear apart tigers and leopards. The woman said. A special bloodline. I didn't expect it to be a special bloodline. People with special bloodlines are usually arrogant. No wonder he didn't want to be in the same boat as Baldi. However, even if he has a special bloodline, it's still impossible for him to defeat 13. Emochin smiled. He knew Night Sorrow's strength. As long as it was within rank 2, Night Sorrow could fight it. After cultivating for a night, Night Sorrow woke up in the morning. He took Tianyu out to catch 2 prey and gave one to the golden-winged eagle. Night Sorrow started a fire and roasted one for Tianyu. What's the next mission? Emochin looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Ironback Bear's gallbladder. Night Sorrow cut off the roasted boar's hind leg and gave the rest to Tianyu. Ironback Bear is a rank 2 demonic beast. However, it's slow, so it shouldn't be too difficult. Emochin took a knife and gave some of the boar's leg to the woman. Night Sorrow nodded. He had some understanding of bear-type demonic beasts. Bear-type demonic beasts were known for their immense strength and violent temper. They weren't as intelligent as other demonic beasts and were at a disadvantage in terms of speed. After eating, Night Sorrow got on Tianyu's back and flew towards the ice snow mountain where the ironback bear roamed. The ice snow mountain was tens of thousands of meters high. Half of the mountain was covered with snow all year round. Bears were afraid of heat and cold, so there were more bears in the ice snow mountain. After half a day, Yi Shang and Emochin arrived at the ice snow mountain with the girl. Night Sorrow didn't control Tianyu to fly too high. The ironback bear was suitable for heights of 5,000 to 6,000 meters. Any higher and it would be the snow bear's habitat. After searching for half an hour, Night Sorrow found a lone ironback bear. Senior brother, this is the lone one. I will kill him, and we will return to Danding City. Night Sorrow said and prepared to go down. It's not alone, it's the Bear King. Hearing Night Sorrow's words, Emochin quickly reminded Night Sorrow who was about to go down. Bear King? Senior brother, what's its cultivation base? Night Sorrow asked. Peak Tier 2. He's entered the fake core stage. Emochin said to Night Sorrow. The cultivation of a false core realm was in between the second and third order. Their strength exceeded the second order, but had yet to reach the third order. Third order martial artists or demonic beasts would form an inner core. A false core was a transformation of the energy in the Dantian, but it had yet to truly form an inner core. I'll give it a try. Night Sorrow thought for a moment, and felt that if it was any other demonic beast, he would have no chance of success. However, this ironback bear was slow, so he might have a chance. Seeing Night Sorrow's back fall from Tianyu's back, Emochin felt that there was no point in following him. Night Sorrow could face some things on his own. He was completely different from those new disciples. He was not a flower in a greenhouse, he had the ability to survive. Landing on Tianyu's back, Night Sorrow approached the Ironback Bear King. When Night Sorrow was about 200 feet away from the Ironback Bear King, the Ironback Bear King discovered Night Sorrow. It roared and rushed towards Night Sorrow. Seeing the Ironback Bear King rushing towards him, Night Sorrow scanned his surroundings and decided to fight it here. When the Ironback Bear King was about 40 feet away from Night Sorrow's feet shook and his body flashed to the back of a cedar. The Ironback Bear King, which weighed 2,000 to 3,000 jin, could not stop and rushed past the side of the cedar. The cedar that Night Sorrow was hiding in was so thick that it would take 6 or 7 people to wrap their arms around it. Even if the Ironback Bear King was ferocious, it could not directly crash into it. After charging for about 50 to 60 feet, the Ironback Bear King finally stopped and turned around to rush towards Night Sorrow again. Seeing the Ironback Bear King rushing towards him, Night Sorrow did not dodge to the side. Instead, he stomped his feet and jumped up. The instant Night Sorrow jumped up, the Ironback Bear King pounced on the spot where he was standing a moment ago. Its huge body crashed into the cedar, creating a rumbling sound. Night Sorrow's body landed, and his right foot ferociously kicked the back of the Ironback Bear King's head. His body landed behind the Ironback Bear King, and his reincarnation spear fiercely stabbed into the Ironback Bear King's waist. The reincarnation spear pierced 2 feet into the Ironback Bear King's body, but the intense pain caused the Ironback Bear King to wake up from its dizzy state. It turned around and was about to attack Night Sorrow, who was behind it. Night Sorrow, who had turned around with the Ironback Bear King, let out a low roar. The energy of the 6th layer of the blood-refining realm poured into his arms. His arms pushed the reincarnation spear forward and continued to stab into the Ironback Bear King's body. After cultivating the myriad Dao Tome, Night Sorrow's arms had the strength of 2,500 kilograms, even if he didn't use any cultivation techniques. Now that all the energy of the blood-refining realm was released, his strength had at least doubled. The Ironback Bear King's body was pierced by Night Sorrow's spear. Night Sorrow's hands were holding onto the Ironback Bear King's waist. Feeling that the Ironback Bear King was about to turn around, Night Sorrow's shoulder pushed against the Ironback Bear King's butt. His legs exerted force as he pushed the Ironback Bear King forward. After being pierced by Night Sorrow's spear, The Ironback Bear King was already heavily injured. It was pushed forward by Night Sorrow. F***CK. 1 step, 2 steps, Night Sorrow and the Ironback Bear began to compete. The Ironback Bear King's strength was great, but it wasn't convenient for it to push backward. Its strength was reduced by 30%, and it was constantly pushed forward by Night Sorrow. After a dozen steps, Night Sorrow pushed the Ironback Bear King to another cedar tree. The Ironback Bear King, whose body had been pierced, used its 2 front paws to push against the cedar tree, resisting Night Sorrow's push. Unable to push the Ironback Bear King away, Night Sorrow let out a low roar. His arms began to shake the reincarnation spear's shaft. He then pulled it back and stabbed it again, continuously expanding the Ironback Bear King's injuries. I wonder which one of them is the bear. The scene of Night Sorrow and the Ironback Bear fighting to the death shocked Emo-chun. It also stunned Huang Yu, who had just been rescued. Night Sorrow's shoulder pressed against the Ironback Bear King's buttocks. He grabbed the reincarnation spear's shaft and shook it continuously. He pulled it out a little, and then stabbed it back in. A quarter of an hour later, the Ironback Bear King stopped moving. It had been bled to death by Night Sorrow while it was still alive. Then Night Sorrow cut open the Ironback Bear's stomach, skinned it, and took out its gallbladder. He then chopped off the Ironback Bear's limbs and put them into his storage belt. Only then did he return to Tianyu's back. "You are too cruel. I won't come with you next time," Emo-chun said. After seeing Night Sorrow kill the Ironback Bear, Emo-chun had a new idea. He wouldn't come with Night Sorrow in the future and would secretly protect him. "All right, let's find a place to rest for the night. We will return to Danding City tomorrow," Night Sorrow said. He didn't want to trouble Emo-chun. After resting for the night, Night Sorrow and Emo-chun brought Huang Yu back to Danding City. Emo-chun took the beast carriage back to the inn directly. Night Sorrow brought Huang Yu to submit the mission. After all, submitting the mission required the mission item. It wasn't something that could be completed easily. Huang Yu was the key to this mission. Huang Yu's family received the notification and took Huang Yu back. They also gave Night Sorrow 1,000 taels of gold as a reward. "Is the mission on hand done?" Sikong looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Chapter 67. There are 2 more, but they aren't that difficult. I'll finish them in 2 or 3 days, Night Sorrow said to Sikong. He had a good impression of Sikong. Not only was she beautiful, but she also didn't put on airs. In addition, when he had a conflict with Ao Lai at the entrance of Tianji Tower, Sikong had shown him kindness. "Once you're done, go and rest. There won't be any good missions for the next half a month if there aren't any special circumstances," Sikong said with a smile. Looking at the smiling Sikong, Yishang was a little distracted. The main reason was that Sikong was too beautiful, so beautiful that Yishang was a little dazed. "What are you thinking about?" Sikong looked at the distracted Night Sorrow and waved her hand in front of Night Sorrow's eyes. "Nothing. I'm just curious why your family gave you such a name. Girls rarely have such names." Night Sorrow changed the topic. "You know my name? That shouldn't be." Sikong looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. "Didn't you say that your name is Sikong?" Night Sorrow was also puzzled. Sikong had said her name when she introduced herself. How could she forget? Sikong is my surname, not my name." After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Sikong understood that Night Sorrow treated her surname as her name. "I see. I understand." Night Sorrow nodded. He also felt that a beauty like Sikong shouldn't have an ordinary name. "My name is Sikong Chiyu," Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. "What a beautiful name." Night Sorrow said with a smile. "Your name is not bad." Sikong Chiyu poured himself a cup of tea and said, "Is my name good? I'm an orphan. My family died, so my name is Night Sorrow. Thank you for the tea, Lord Sikong. I'll take my leave now." Night Sorrow took a deep breath and then stood up. Looking at Night Sorrow's back, Sikong Chiyu called Enforcer Dong. "Send someone to investigate Night Sorrow's background. Remember, don't be hostile." After returning to the inn, Night Sorrow took out 2 bare legs, one for Zhang Dekhang and the other for his and Emo-chun's dinner. "Did you turn in the quest smoothly?" Emo-chun asked as he approached Night Sorrow. It's just that handing in Huang Yu's quest is a bit troublesome. His family is asking all sorts of questions, Night Sorrow said. It's inevitable. If a woman falls into a bandit's lair, even if she's rescued, she'll still be in trouble. You've been running back and forth these past few days, and you've also experienced a few battles. You should rest for a few days and improve your cultivation, Emochin said. Genuine F first release W. Alright, senior brother, I know there are people with the surname C. Is there anyone with the surname Sikong? Night Sorrow asked. You're talking about the woman in Tianji Tower, whose cultivation even I can't see through? Emochin asked. He had a deep impression of Sikong Chiyu. Not only was she a natural beauty, she had the aura of a superior, and her cultivation was also ridiculously high. Yes, that's her surname, not her name, Night Sorrow said. How do you know? Emochin asked curiously. Her name is Sikong Chiyu. Night Sorrow said Sikong's name. Good name. I've never heard of the surname Sikong. It's very strange that she would take the initiative to tell you her name. If you weren't so young, I would have thought she was interested in you. 13. Hurry up and grow up. Emochin said with a smile. Night Sorrow shook his head and went back to cultivate. He wanted to reach the Yuan Gathering realm as soon as possible. Also, he wasn't far from the 7th layer of the blood refining realm with the myriad Dao Tome. After cultivating for 2 days, Night Sorrow went to do missions. This time, Emochin told Night Sorrow that he wouldn't follow, but in reality, he had been following Night Sorrow from a distance. After 3.5 days, Night Sorrow finished the last 2 missions and returned to Danding City. After handing in the missions, Night Sorrow and Sikong Chiyu chatted. Sikong, how do you exchange for the yuan increasing pill in Tianji Tower? Why? You want to exchange for the yuan increasing pill? Yes, the price isn't high, but I have a suggestion. Would you like to hear it? Sikong looked at Night Sorrow and poured a cup of tea for Night Sorrow. Of course I'll listen to Sikong's suggestion. Night Sorrow nodded at Sikong Chiyu. You already have more than half of the points for the Black Iron token. You've reached 2/3. If you have the Qing Tong token, then the points you need to exchange for the yuan increasing pill will be reduced by 1/4. You're currently at the 9th level of the Qi refining realm. Before you reach the initial yuan gathering realm, you won't need the yuan increasing pill. During this time you can raise the mission sign. Sikong Chiyu gave his suggestion. Sikong's suggestion is very good. I'll exchange for 3 yuan increasing pills. This will save me a lot of points. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and said, 3 is a bit too much. In theory, it's not a problem to eat 3, but it's not a good thing to increase your cultivation too quickly. Just exchange for 1 or 2. Don't reach the limit. Sikong Chiyu shook his head when he heard that Night Sorrow wanted to exchange for 3. Okay, I understand. Thank you, Sikong. Night Sorrow cupped his hands at Sikong Chiyu. Just call me Sikong. Don't be too polite. Remember to come early at the beginning of the month and complete more missions. It'll be much easier for you to get the bronze token. Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. He knew that Night Sorrow had already completed all the missions he had accepted. Night Sorrow cupped his hands at Sikong Chiyu again and left. This little guy is a talent. Enforcer Dong walked to Sikong Chiyu's side. Of course. If there are no accidents, the name Night Sorrow will resound throughout the Eastern Xian domain in a few years, Sikong Chiyu said. The results are out. Take a look, Sikong. Enforcer Dong handed a treatment book to Sikong Chiyu. Bone age 14. Orphan. He was raised by the village chief of Zhuyuan village near South Sky City. A few months ago, he was a hunter with no cultivation. He should be the most outstanding hunter in Zhuyuan village. Enforcer Dong gave the information to Sikong Chiyu and introduced the contents of the information. From no cultivation to the 9th level of Qi refining in 4 months. Even with abundant resources, this speed is outrageous. His blood and Qi are vigorous, and his body is very strong. Even if he doesn't use true Qi, he can still kill opponents of the same level. The most important point is his fighting talent. From his battle at the gate that day and the corpses of the bloodthirsty Wolf King and the Ironback Bear King, it seems that he was born for fighting, Sikong Chiyu said. Medicine Valley has found a treasure. By the way, when will you go back, Sikong? Enforcer Dong asked. Go back. Why should I go back? Listen to the family's arrangements and do what I don't like. A layer of frost appeared on Sikong Chuyu's face. But Sikong, you can't hide for long like this. Enforcer Dong said. It doesn't matter. This is the family's current thinking. My father and mother know that I came out. They didn't stop me. I will prove my value. As long as I break through, the family won't say anything. Sikong Chuyu said. Chapter 68. After returning to the inn, Knight Sorrow began to cultivate. He planned to cultivate the myriad Dao Tome to the 7th layer first. Knight Sorrow's true energy had just advanced, so it would take some time for him to break through to the Yuan gathering stage. However, his myriad Dao Tome had reached the 6th layer for a long time, and had already reached the peak of the 6th layer. Knight Sorrow felt that a breakthrough would happen soon. Without any missions to do, Knight Sorrow ate the spirit congealing pill and blood essence pill to cultivate at night. During the day, he cultivated the chasing wind spear art and suppressing mountain hand. Fortunately, Zhang Dekhang had arranged a separate room for Knight Sorrow and Mo Chen. Otherwise, it would have caused a shock. As for the spirit congealing pill and blood essence pill, Knight Sorrow did not have any concerns. He had checked Feng Chen's alchemy manual. Continuous use of auxiliary pills only had pill poison, but it would not cause problems with energy instability. Knight Sorrow had already cultivated 18 waves of oscillating energy. It was almost 3 waves of true energy every time he advanced. After cultivating the chasing wind spear art once again, he glanced at the dishes Zhang Dekhang brought over. Knight Sorrow nodded to Mo Chen and went to take a bath. Zhang Dekhang already knew Knight Sorrow's cultivation time. After Knight Sorrow finished cultivating, Zhang Dekhang would send servants to bring over food, but not wine. He knew that Knight Sorrow and Mo Chen would drink the wine he brought. After taking a bath, Knight Sorrow put on a linen robe and came to the table, sitting opposite Mo Chen. 13. This outfit might look old-fashioned on other people. It might not look elegant. However, on you it looks very natural and refined, Mo Chen said with a smile. Senior brother, don't joke with me. What do we drink today? The azure blood wine is enough for the two of us to drink once, Knight Sorrow said. Then let's drink with Uncle Neo. That's wine for men, Mo Chen said. You mean my azure blood wine is not for men to drink? Then don't drink it in the future. Aoi appeared in front of the two. 6th senior sister. Knight Sorrow stood up and greeted Aoi. 6th senior sister, that's not what I meant. Mo Chen hurriedly explained when he saw Aoi. It doesn't matter whether it is or not. 13 senior sister brought you some wine. Qing Ji took out a purple clay jug and handed it to Yishang. Thank you, 6th senior sister. Knight Sorrow said as he put away the wine jar. He knew that this was the jar used to store the azure blood wine. The first 4 shots of the original P version. 6th senior sister, you're too biased. Seeing that Knight Sorrow had the azure blood brew while he didn't, Mo Chen immediately became anxious. Aoi glared at Mo Chen and said, What's the rush? Are you going to talk behind my back again? I don't dare. I really didn't. Mo Chen felt very innocent and didn't say anything. Okay, I'll stop joking with you guys. 13 Who did you offend? Our Taishian Peak disciples outside received news that someone hired assassins to kill you. Master told me to come and take a look. Aoi said. Damn it. It can't be anyone other than Ao Yushan. That bastard even dares to do this. Mo Chen said angrily. What happened? Aoi frowned and asked. She knew that Knight Sorrow and Mo Chen must have had a conflict with Ao Yushan recently. Knight Sorrow didn't need to say anything. Mo Chen told her the cause of the matter. Aoi's face was as cold as ice. She paced back and forth in thought. Go straight to him. He won't admit it without evidence. If we just let him do whatever he wants, it's not the style of our Taishian Peak. 11. Continue to accompany 13 on missions. You guys don't have to worry about this anymore. I'll make him regret it. Aoi made a decision after thinking for a while. 6th senior sister. What do you plan to do? Mo Chen asked. Isn't he playing dirty? Then we'll play along with him. I'll call old 8 and old 9. The AO family won't be able to rest in peace. We can play dirty too. Let's see who's more ruthless. Aoi said coldly. This month's Black Iron missions were done poorly by 13. He'll stay here and cultivate. I'll accompany you guys to mess with them. Emochan said. Okay. 13 will stay here and cultivate. We'll take care of this old thing. Aoi knew Emochan's character. She didn't object. Even if she did, it would be useless. Emochan's pursuit of Luo Sihai for more than 10 years was a good example. Yishang originally wanted to stop Ao Yushan, but after thinking that he couldn't stop Ao Yushan, he didn't say anything. Ao Yushan wasn't just targeting him. He was also slapping Tai Xian Peak's face. Qingji and the others couldn't tolerate this. Aoi Night Sorrow and Emochan ate something and left. She was going to call Yang Lei and Shi Tianlin. Yu Yangyu took this matter very seriously. How could he not be angry when someone hired an assassin to kill his disciple? Tai Xian Peak had more than 40 official second-generation disciples. Compared to the other peaks, it was a small number. However, they were all strong. A while ago, when Tai Tsung's disciple went out to look for herbs, he heard about this from a friend. He immediately stopped looking for herbs and returned to Tai Xian Peak to report. Senior brother, this matter won't involve too many people, right? Night Sorrow was still a little worried. It's nothing. Ao Yushan's family business isn't small. He's the junior brother of Yuan Tai, the peak master of Wangyan Peak. He's not very talented. He just relied on time to get to where he is. There are many ways to deal with him. Cut off his source of income, cripple a few of his juniors, set fire to his house, and he'll be honest. Emochan took a sip of wine and said, won't he report it to the sect? Probably not. Night Sorrow understood after asking. Ao Yushan wouldn't report it to the sect. Firstly, there was no evidence. Secondly, he knew what was going on. Once the truth was out, the Taishian Peak would be furious. Even 10 Ao Yushan wouldn't be enough. Smart. Let the senior brothers and sisters handle this. You just focus on your cultivation, and try to enter the Yuan gathering level as soon as possible. Emochan said to Night Sorrow. After finishing the wine, Night Sorrow went to cultivate. He believed that Aoi and the others would handle this matter well. There was nothing to worry about. Aoi and the others were not to be trifled with. Ao Yushan should be the one suffering. In the following days, Night Sorrow worked hard on his cultivation. He didn't know that the Danding city was about to be turned upside down. The city lord's caravan was robbed. Ao Kachong, who was escorting the caravan, had his legs broken. The Ao clan's medicine store was smashed. The city lord Ao Yushan's grandson, Ao Bing, offended someone when he was drinking. His teeth were knocked out, and he didn't even see who did it. Things happened one after another. Some people could tell that someone was targeting the city lord Ao Yushan. When Ao Lai was carried back, Ao Yushan smashed the table with his palm. Ao Lai was crippled, and he could no longer be a man. Big brother, we've offended someone we shouldn't have. Could it be the Taishian Peak? Ao Yukuan looked at his brother and said. He was the vice city lord of Danding City. He could tell that if they didn't deal with this, the Ao clan wouldn't be able to survive in Danding City. He also knew that Ao Yushan wanted to kill Night Sorrow. Hua Wuji, was it leaked? Ao Yushan looked at his trusted aide Hua Wuji. I can't say for sure. Recently, I've contacted a few groups of assassins. They didn't accept the mission. I can't be sure if one of them leaked it. Hua Wuji bowed and said. Chapter 69. Now they know that we can't make a fuss, so they are doing this. If we don't do anything, the situation will become more and more passive, Ao Yukuan said. I understand. The key is how to resolve this situation. Since Taishian Peak has made a move, it means that they know that we are looking for assassins. They will not give up easily. Ao Yushan wished he could cut down Ao Lai, who was lying there and screaming. Ao Yukuan looked at Ao Lai and was very angry. If he hadn't provoked someone he shouldn't have, this wouldn't have happened. Bear with it for now. Tell everyone in the family not to go out. Tell the caravans and medicine shops to stop doing business first. Maybe they will calm down when they see that we admit defeat. Ao Yushan could only think of this solution. However, things were not over yet. Overnight, the medicine warehouse of the Ao family was set on fire, and all the tamed animals in the training ground were killed. This caused the Ao family to suffer a great loss. It could be said that they suffered a great loss. Ao Yushan's eyes turned blue when he heard the news in the city lord's office. In the end, he decided to ask his master for help. His master was the elder of Medicine Valley. Medicine Valley was divided into 12 peaks. Each peak had its own master, elders, and guardians. Medicine Valley also had the elders and guardians who were in charge of the 12 peaks. The elders of Medicine Valley were superior to the masters and elders of each peak. Positive, version ahead M hair kg. There were 2 ways to produce a master of each peak. One was to be a disciple of the master of the peak. The other was to be a master of Medicine Valley, who was outstanding. Ao Yushan and Yuan Tai were both disciples of Lu Chenyan, the 4th elder of Medicine Valley. Now that Ao Yushan couldn't control the situation, he could only explain the situation to his master and ask for help from Medicine Valley to stop Taishian Peak. Ao Yushan told Lu Chenyan about the situation at the back of Danding Peak in Medicine Valley. What a good for nothing. You're still looking for assassins. You're shooting yourself in the foot. They didn't follow the rules in Danding City. You couldn't suppress them, so you came back to find people to deal with them. What is this? Do you think Yu Yangyu is easy to talk to? Lu Chenyan was furious after hearing Yu Yangyu's report. He knew that it was hard to talk to Yu Yangyu, especially when it came to his disciples. That was his reverse scale. The incident with Guan Yi was an example. At that time, Yu Yangyu didn't give face to anyone. Lu Chenyan's seniority was higher than Yu Yangyu's, but his strength was not as good as Yu Yangyu's. Using the power of the sect to suppress Yu Yangyu was useless. Not to mention that Yu Yangyu had a good relationship with the Great Elder and the Valley Master. Yu Yangyu also had a master. Knight Sorrow didn't know about this. He was in the middle of breaking through to the 7th level of the blood refining realm. To break through to the 6th level of the blood refining realm, one needed to open the dragon tendons in the 4 limbs. To break through to the 7th level, one needed to open the small tendons in the hands and feet to strengthen the body. The hands and feet took up very little space in the body, but they were the most important places to attack in battle. Furthermore, the tendons were the most abundant. Knight Sorrow's dragon tendons, neck, and 4 limbs were all filled with energy. Now he had enough energy to continue developing his body. He was developing his hands and feet. This time, the one helping Knight Sorrow was Tianyu. Emo Chun, Aoi Yonglei, and Shi Tianlin were dealing with Ao Yushan. As the myriad Dao Tome's energy surged, the tendons in Knight Sorrow's hands were opened one by one. At this moment, Knight Sorrow only felt one thing: pain. As the saying goes, the 10 fingers are connected to the heart. The energy surging through the tendons in the hands and feet brought Knight Sorrow too much pain. After using 6 hours to open the tendons in his hands and feet, Knight Sorrow's entire body was soaked with sweat. Even his hair was stuck to his face. After successfully breaking through, Knight Sorrow stretched out his hands and clenched his fists. Immediately, cracking sounds came from his hands. Knight Sorrow knew that the strength in his hands had increased by a lot. After leaving the room, Knight Sorrow saw his 2 senior sisters, 8th senior brother Shi Tianlin, and 11th senior brother drinking tea in the courtyard. I'm going to take a bath first. Knight Sorrow finished speaking and went to take a bath. What the hell is 13 cultivating? Why is he so miserable? Shi Tianlin frowned as he watched Knight Sorrow go to take a bath. If Master hears this, he'll definitely beat you up. Can't you see that his blood chi has increased by a lot? Aoi looked at Shi Tianlin and said, that's because he's cultivating a special technique. This will delay his cultivation of true chi, Shi Tianlin said. 8th senior brother, 13's cultivation is now at chi refining stage 9. How long has it been since he entered the sect? How is it delayed? Yang Lei said with a smile. Yeah, no matter how fast he is, his foundation will be unstable. Shi Tianlin nodded. Senior brothers, senior sisters. After taking a bath, Knight Sorrow came over to greet them. You've grown a lot taller. How's your cultivation? Young Lei asked after pouring a cup of tea for Night Sorrow. Thank you for your concern, ninth senior sister. Everything's going well. How about you guys? How's everything going? Night Sorrow asked. Of course it's going well. That old dog is pissed off now. Our people noticed that he went to Pill Cauldron Mountain. He's probably looking for the sect to settle it, Young Lei said with a smile. I don't know how the sect will deal with this. They'll probably stop us, right? Emo-chan said. Right now, we need to think about how to compensate him. If he can't give us a satisfactory compensation, then he'll continue to torture us, always said. Senior brothers, senior sisters, be careful. Don't push him too far. Night Sorrow was a little worried. 13 Don't worry. If he has the strength to attack us, he won't go to the sect, Shi Tianlin said with a smile. As they chatted, Night Sorrow took out 2 bare legs from his storage belt and had Zhang Dekhang prepare them. 13 Pay more attention to actual combat. I heard that each peak has outstanding outer disciples participating in this year's competition. Their target is our Taishan Peak's 13 newcomers. Currently, our 13 newcomers aren't too far behind in cultivation, but their actual combat ability still needs to be tested. The only ones who can truly fight are Ma Zhuang, Tang Tian, and Chu Ning. But if we want to take first place in the competition, we'll still have to rely on you, Young Lei said. I'll do my best. Night Sorrow nodded. After chatting with Night Sorrow for a while, they left to continue looking for opportunities to deal with Ao Yushan. After chatting with Night Sorrow for a while, they left to continue looking for opportunities to deal with Ao Yushan. On the other hand, Night Sorrow had to adapt to his 7th level blood refinement realm strength as quickly as possible. It was almost the beginning of the month, and he had to fight for missions. He cultivated steadily for 2 days. While increasing his chi cultivation, he also stabilized his 7th level blood refinement realm cultivation. Early in the morning, Danding City was very quiet. Night Sorrow arrived at Tianji Tower early. When he arrived, Tianji Tower was still closed, so he waited for a while. The moment Tianji Tower opened, Night Sorrow entered Tianji Tower. As soon as Yishang entered the Empyrean Terminus Tower, he saw Sikong Chiyu, who was wearing a light blue robe and a veil, walking down the stairs. Behind her were Enforcer Dong and 2 managers of the Empyrean Terminus Tower. You're here. Sikong Chiyu greeted Night Sorrow with a smile. Night Sorrow nodded. I'm here to accept a mission. Chapter 70. After receiving the mission list from Sikong Chiyu, Night Sorrow didn't even bother to drink the tea that the waiter had brought him. He started to list the missions. This one, and this one. Night Sorrow accepted 15 missions in one go. It could be said that he had accepted all the Black Iron missions that didn't waste his energy and had high points. Send them to Enforcer Dong. After helping Night Sorrow organize the missions, Sikong Chiyu handed the mission list to the waiter. Thank you very much. Night Sorrow knew that the Sikong Chiyu's help was a big reason why he was able to accept the missions so easily. It's nothing. After you finish this mission, you will probably be able to enter the Bronze Order level. There's no need to rush now. Take your time and drink your tea. Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. You look so beautiful when you smile. Night Sorrow took a sip of tea and said. This came from his heart, so it didn't sound fake. Instead, it sounded very sincere. Do you often say this to girls? Sikong Chiyu looked into Night Sorrow's eyes and asked. I only know 2 senior sisters. The other one is my 3rd senior brother's disciple. Sorry for being rude. At this moment, Night Sorrow felt that what he had said just now might have been inappropriate. He immediately stood up and apologized. F. Latest chapter Unspecified Currency Section 2 Supra 3U. Sit down. I know you don't mean anything else. You just said whatever comes to your mind. It's very sincere. By the way, you have a mission to collect purple gold right? Sikong Chiyu asked. Yes. The mission location is a little far. Even if I have a flying demon beast, it will take me 2 days to get there. Night Sorrow nodded. Purple gold, was a rare material for refining weapons. Now that Danding City was in short supply, someone had issued this mission. I have a mission to hunt down a purple gold lizard. When are you going? Give me a shout, Sikongchiyu said. All right, then I'll finish all the quests that have a time limit and come look for you. Night Sorrow nodded. When Night Sorrow and Sikongchiyu came out of the private room, the lobby of Tianji Tower was bustling again. Many of them were disciples of the Medicine Valley, including Qin Zhan, Qin Hai, and Kong Jun. There were also disciples of the Wangyan Peak. In addition, Night Sorrow also saw the Enlightenment who helped him in the Grass Valley. Thank you for your help last time, Senior Enlightenment. Night Sorrow greeted Enlightenment. Don't. There's a difference in seniority. I'm a third-generation disciple of Danding Peak. You're my junior master. Hearing Night Sorrow's words, Enlightenment hurriedly waved his hand. In Medicine Valley, seniority was very important. If word got out that Night Sorrow called him senior brother, there would be a big problem. Is that so? I didn't know. Are you here for a mission too? Night Sorrow asked. That's right. I've brought a few outer sect disciples of Danding Peak here, to pick up some missions to train them up. I wonder which B***star took all the good missions away. Qi Ming said angrily. Night Sorrow was depressed. How did he become a bastard just because he accepted some missions? What I want to say is that Night Sorrow accepted quite a number of missions. Sikongchiyu looked at Night Sorrow's troubled face and said, Junior Master, I don't mean anything else. I don't mean to scold you. Hearing Sikongchiyu's words, Qiming froze for a moment, and his face immediately turned green. This problem could be big or small. If the horny students of Taishan Peak knew about it, then their days would not be easy. I know. It's okay. Let's drink together when we have time, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Although he was depressed, he knew that enlightenment did not mean it. Besides, he still owed enlightenment a favor. Why would he care about this? That's good. Go ahead, Junior Master. Qiming saw that Yishang was not fussing, so he thought even more highly of Yishang. These days, there were too many second-generation masters. It was common for them to flaunt their prowess by relying on their father's or master's reputation. But Yishang was still calm. After exiting the gates of the Celestial Terminus Tower, Yishang turned around and waved at Sikongchiyu. Then he got on the beast carriage and headed towards the city gate. There were a few missions that had a time limit, so he had to hurry up and complete them. While Night Sorrow was doing his mission, the first elder and the fourth elder of Medicine Valley, Lu Qinyun, took Ao Yushan to Jingxin Cliff of Taishan Peak. Jingxin Cliff was where Yu Yangyu lived. When the three of them arrived at Jingxin Cliff, Nan Nan and Gong Xian were asking Yu Yangyu some questions about cultivation. First elder and fourth elder are here. Please take a seat. Yu Yangyu cupped his hands at the first elder who was holding a walking stick. Your place is much quieter. The first elder smiled and sat down. Yangyu, I've brought my good-for-nothing disciple here to apologize to you, Lu Qinyun said. Yu Yangyu lowered his head and took a sip of tea. He did not say anything. Yangyu, this matter needs to be resolved. The fourth elder also just found out about it. Didn't he come here immediately? The first elder said when he saw the awkward silence. Then I won't beat around the bush. Ao Yushan, how dare you hire assassins to deal with my disciple? If anything happens to my disciple, I'll wipe out your entire family. Yu Yangyu waved his sleeve and slapped Ao Yushan, causing him to stagger. I was confused. Ao Yushan did not dare to show any dissatisfaction. You dare to touch my junior brother? I'll kill you. Gong Xian, who did not know about this matter, stood up with a murderous look on his face. Calm down. Yu Yangyu stopped Gong Xian. Yangyu, Yushan is in the wrong. Now that the Ao family has suffered heavy losses, let's see how we can settle this, Lu Qinyun said. First elder, what do you think? Yu Yangyu looked at the first elder and asked. I'm just a middleman for you. Let's sit down and settle this matter. It's up to you how you want to settle it. The first elder shook his head. I'm willing to compensate. Tell them to stop messing around. Ao Yushan said with a bitter face. How? If there are people who secretly deal with my Taishan Peak's disciples in the future, and ask for compensation after being discovered, how can this matter be settled? Yu Yangyu snorted coldly. Yangyu, I'll vouch for him this time. If he still holds a grudge and does anything else, I'll kill him myself, Lu Chenyan said. I'll give face to the fourth elder and the first elder. Tell me your compensation. Yu Yangyu said. I'll give you 30 upper-grade spirit stones and a courtyard in the Longquan Mountain, Ao Yushan said. Lu Chenyan really wanted to slap Ao Yushan. Yu Yangyu said that he would give face to him and the first elder, so he only needed to compensate them appropriately. Now that he had to compensate them with 30 upper-grade spirit stones and a courtyard in the Longquan Mountain, his heart ached. 30 upper-grade spirit stones were all the Ao family had. The fourth elder only had this much. As for the courtyard in the Longquan Mountain Villa, it was even more precious. There were 2 scenic spots around Danding City. One was the Greenstone Forest, and the other was the Longquan Mountain. At the foot of the Longquan Mountain was the Skywater Lake. The Longquan Mountain Villa only had one courtyard, which was the property of the Ao family. This courtyard was precious not only because of the land, but also because it was located in a natural formation. It could absorb the water spirit chi of the Skywater Lake, which could calm people's mind. Then let's do it. Gongxian, you go and receive it and give it to 13, Yu Yangyu said. Chapter 71. Lu Chenyan and Ao Yushan's expressions changed. Great Elder, it's not that serious, is it? Lu Chenyan asked. This is an order from the Grand Elder Council. There are some things that you don't need to know. Also, let me tell you, Yishan has my medallion on him right now. Nothing happened to him, but if something did happen, humph. The Grand Elder harumphed twice, then stood up and left. Look at what you've done. Lu Chenyan glared at Ao Yushan, and left without caring about it. Alright Gongxian, follow him and complete the task. Yu Yangyu waved to Gongxian and Ao Yushan. Ao Yushan, who walked down Taixian Peak, was still in shock. He knew that he had asked for peace, or the consequences would be very serious. This time, Night Sorrow completed all 5 missions with a time limit before returning to the Celestial Terminus Tower. Si Kongqiu was not there. Night Sorrow handed in the tasks to the ordinary staff and returned to the inn. In the inn, Night Sorrow saw Yang Lei and Mo Chun. To his surprise, Gongxian was also there. Little 13, you're back. How are the tasks? Gongxian asked with a smile. I've completed all the time-limited tasks. The rest can be done slowly. Why are you here, great senior brother? Night Sorrow sat down and asked. To give you something good. Ao Yushan gave in and gave you 30 high-grade spirit stones. I'm so jealous. Gongxian handed a bag of spirit stones to Night Sorrow. I don't want this. Great senior brother, you can take it and distribute it to the senior brothers and sisters. Night Sorrow pushed the bag of spirit stones back to Gongxian. This is what you should take. Gongxian shook his head. I need spirit stones. I'll work hard. These are what you guys fought for. I don't want them. Night Sorrow shook his head. Gongxian and Yang Lei looked at each other, not knowing what to do. Alright, your 2 senior brothers and senior sister have also worried a lot during this period of time. Old 6th, you guys take it and divide it. Gongxian handed the bag of spirit stones to Qingji. How can we do that? 13, you can take it. It's all for senior brothers and sisters. Don't mind it. Aoi said. 6th senior sister, I really don't need it now. You guys can have it. Night Sorrow said. Us senior brothers and senior sisters will face difficulties together. If there is wine and meat, we will eat together. Each of us will get 2 pieces and give the rest to Master. Aoi made her decision. She opened the bag, took out 2 spirit stones, and pushed them in front of Night Sorrow. This time, Night Sorrow didn't refuse. He also took 2 spirit stones. Aoi's words were reasonable. If he didn't take it, it meant that he didn't agree. Yang Lei and Shi Tianlin each took 2 spirit stones. Then they passed the bag to Gongxian. We'll divide the spirit stones like this. There's also a compensation. 13, come with me to receive it later. Gongxian said. Receive what? Night Sorrow took a sip of tea and asked. There are 2 compensation. One is spirit stones, and the other is a villa. You don't have to stay in the inn in Danding City anymore. Let's go now. Gongxian stood up and said, Dekhang, arrange 2 servants to help 13 look after the villa. Emochen said to Zhang Dekhang when they left the inn. After finding 2 beast carriages, the group took the 2 servants arranged by Zhang Dekhang and walked towards the south gate of Danding City. After exiting the city gate, it took an hour for the group to reach the lakeside of Skywata Lake. They arrived at a very simple manor. When they arrived at the entrance of the manor, a steward appeared. Excuse me, are you from Taishian Peak? Is Master Knight here? I am Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow took 2 steps forward and said. The city lord said that if Master Knight is here, we can leave. This is the deed. The old butler handed a brocade box to Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow opened the brocade box and saw that it was the deed for the villa. It also included the ownership of the surrounding 30 miles. In other words, this area was private property. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave. The old butler bowed to Knight Sorrow and the others and left with a few servants. 13. This will be your territory from now on. Xiaoyozi, you guys go and tidy up. Emochen shouted to one of the servants sent by Zhang Dekhang. This person had been serving him and Knight Sorrow for a long time, and was quite familiar with him. Okay. Xiaoyozi ran in and opened the door. 11. You have a sense of accomplishment when you call him Xiaoyozi. Always squinted at Emochen. Gosh. 6. Senior sister, don't think too much. I didn't mean it. Hearing Always words, Emochen slapped his forehead. He knew that he shouldn't call him Xiaoyozi in the future. The villa was very grand. Not to mention the surrounding pavilions, the 3-story main building was very grand. There were wood and stone carvings in the hall. These decorations are expensive. Why didn't they take them away? Yang Lei sat on an armchair and said. He's trying to be friendly. He knows that if we can't take this lying down, we won't let him off. Gongxian also sat down. Entering this villa gives me a refreshing feeling. Knight Sorrow took a deep breath and said. Yang Lei and Knight Sorrow strolled back and forth in the hall, looking at the villa. Gongxian talked about the most precious parts of the villa and the natural formation. Look at 6th edition #, Chapter 1. No wonder 13 said that he felt relaxed and happy. I also feel that my mind is clear, Qingji said. Eldest senior brother, look. Knight Sorrow took out the brocade box. Stop. I know what you want to say. There's no need for so many things between us brothers. Just take it. This was arranged by First Elder and Master. Gongxian directly interrupted Knight Sorrow. He knew that Knight Sorrow didn't want it, so he quickly covered Knight Sorrow's mouth. 13. Just stay. Don't make things difficult for our senior brother. Besides, our senior brothers and sisters have their own strongholds in the future, right? Emochen said. All right then. Knight Sorrow didn't refuse. Go get us something to eat. We want to have a drink. Emochen called out to Little Six. He didn't dare to call out to Little Six because he was afraid that Aoi would punish him. Taishian Peak disciples had an order of seniority. The younger ones would always listen to the older ones, even if they were wrong. This was Yu Yangyu's rule. Therefore, Emochen and Shi Tianlin didn't refute Aoi and Yang Lei's words. 13. Leave a pavilion for 9th senior sister. She'll be in seclusion soon. Yang Lei said to Knight Sorrow. Of course we definitely will. There are so many pavilions here. Senior brothers and sisters will all have a place, said Yishang. While Little Six was preparing to eat, Knight Sorrow and the others strolled back and forth in the villa, looking at it. They're all precious trees. The rockery is made of black jade. The pond is made of green jade. The Ao family is really powerful, Emochen said with some emotion in the garden in front of the villa. You don't know. This was passed down from the ancestors of the Ao family, for who knows how many years. Therefore the Ao family suffered a great loss this time, Gongxian said. Chapter 72. There were odd job workers and maidservants in secluded forest cottage. Odd job workers were registered in the Medicine Valley, but maidservants were not. Maidservants belonged to individuals. The maidservants in secluded forest cottage were rescued by Qingji when she was out training. Senior sister, am I that kind of person? Knight Sorrow said with a wry smile. I'm not saying you're that kind of person. I just have to remind you of something, Aoi said with a smile. Actually, your sixth senior sister is right. Many women are more scheming. Someone like you is their goal to change their life and destiny, Gong Xian said. I understand, Night Sorrow nodded. After eating and staying for a while, Gong Xian, Aoi and Shi Tianlin left. Yang Lei was going to cultivate in seclusion at Night Sorrow's place. Mo Chun had nothing else to do, so he planned to watch over Night Sorrow for a while longer. Yang Lei chose a loft near Skywater Lake and let out her blue condor. Mo Chun also chose a place near the main building. Night Sorrow arranged for Tianyu to stay in the area next to the main building. After that, Night Sorrow left some gold notes for Little Six to buy some demon corpses to feed his, Aoi's and Mo Chen's flying beasts. He also wanted to buy a beast carriage. After explaining everything, Yishang went to cultivate. After settling down for 2 days, Night Sorrow took the beast carriage to Tianji Tower. He told the staff that he wanted to see Sikong Chiyu, because he was going to do the purple gold mine mission. After Night Sorrow drank a cup of tea, Sikong Chiyu, who was wearing a long robe and a veil, came to the private room. You're here. Are you going to do the purple gold mine mission? Sikong Chiyu pulled the veil and sat down. That's right. I've already finished the missions with a tight time limit. I was afraid that you'd be anxious, so I wanted to do the purple gold mine first, Night Sorrow said. Okay, is there anything else you need to prepare? Sikong Chiyu asked. No, what about you? Night Sorrow asked. There's nothing much to prepare. Let's go. Sikong Chiyu stood up and said. Once they were out of Tianji Tower, the two of them hailed a beast carriage and headed out of Danding City. What compensation did Ao Yushan give you this time? Sitting in the beast carriage, Sikong Chiyu looked at Night Sorrow with a smile. 30 spirit stones and a courtyard. How did you know? After answering, Night Sorrow asked in astonishment. You don't know much about Tianji Tower. You can tell them some things. As long as Tianji Tower wants to know, they'll know, Sikong Chiyu said. Night Sorrow moved his body. He was sitting face to face with Sikong Chiyu. Sikong Chiyu's breath made him feel uneasy. What's wrong with you? There's no need to reject me. I don't mean any harm, Sikong Chiyu explained. She saw Night Sorrow move his body and thought Night Sorrow was rejecting her. I know. Night Sorrow took a deep breath and calmed himself down. And don't think too much about it. The Empyrean Extreme Tower has issued all kinds of missions, so the Empyrean Extreme Tower in various places are aware of the movements of various forces. However, none of them are hostile, Sikong Chiyu said. I understand. Yishang nodded and didn't say anything else. Seeing that Yishang didn't speak, Sikong Chiyu also didn't continue to speak. She felt that Yishang was a bit strange. Although he said he was rejecting her, he wasn't rejecting her, but his situation was clearly different from before. After leaving Danding City, Sikong Chiyu paid the fare. Where's your flying tamed beast? Sikong Chiyu asked Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded and let Tianyu out. After exiting the tamed beast's space, Tianyu let out a cry and rubbed his head against Night Sorrow's shoulder. This is? An ancient mutant with the bloodline of the ancient Azure Rock and intelligence? Sikong Chiyu asked in surprise. Looking at Tianyu, Sikong Chiyu asked. My master said that he has the bloodline of the ancient Azure Rock and Xuanwan. However, he's still young and his bloodline power hasn't awakened yet. Night Sorrow said as he stroked Tianyu. Your master really treasures you. He got you such a promising beast, Sikong Chiyu said as she looked at Tianyu. No, it was injured a while ago. I brought it back to my place and it followed me. It even saved my life. Night Sorrow reached out and smoothed the feathers on Tianyu's neck. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Sikong Chiyu straightened her body and began to look at Night Sorrow. She now felt that Night Sorrow was even more ridiculous than Tianyu. He could casually pick up a beast with the bloodline of an ancient mutant beast. Wasn't that even more unbelievable? Sikong, do you have a flying beast? Night Sorrow asked. Although I really want to sit on your flying demonic beast, I do have a flying demonic beast. Sikong Chiyu raised her jade arm, and a fiery red flying demonic beast appeared in Yishang's field of vision. When the fiery red flying beast appeared, Tianyu stretched out his body and got into an attacking posture. Tianyu, Night Sorrow stood in front of Tianyu. /Moinute. Chapter * top Fire Phoenix. Sikong Chiyu also stood in front of the fiery red flying beast. At this moment, Night Sorrow finally had the time to carefully look at Sikong Chiyu's flying beast. It was a fiery red flying beast that was several times larger than Tianyu's body. It was very similar to the phoenix that Night Sorrow had seen in the Fae catalog. It has the bloodline of an ancient mutant beast, the Fire Phoenix. Because it is female, I call it the Fire Phoenix, Sikong Chiyu said. It is indeed very handsome. Night Sorrow had to nod his head. The Fire Phoenix was now much more impressive than Tianyu. After all, it was in a different stage of growth. However, Tianyu didn't admit defeat, and kept staring at the Fire Phoenix with his golden eyes. How about this? Your Tianyu is still young, and will be slower. You can ride the Fire Phoenix with me. Sikong Chiyu looked at Night Sorrow and said, Sikong, you go first. I will take my time. Night Sorrow understood that following Sikong Chiyu wasn't just on the way. It was completely borrowing her light. It's okay. This is a mining mission. Let's go. Sikong Chiyu could see that Night Sorrow didn't want to trouble her. This made her think even more highly of Night Sorrow. This was a proud character that didn't accept charity. I think it's better not. Night Sorrow shook his head. What's wrong with you? I've waited for a few days, and you're not coming? Aren't we friends? Sikong Chiyu finished speaking and walked to Night Sorrow's side. She grabbed Night Sorrow's arm and floated onto the Fire Phoenix's back. Then she let the Fire Phoenix fly into the sky. When the Fire Phoenix flew into the sky, Tianyu also flew into the sky. Sikong. Night Sorrow didn't know what to say. Not friends. Sikong had helped him a few times, but he wasn't used to this. Well, it's just a mission together. When we reach the place, you do your thing. I won't help you, Sikong said with a smile. At the same time, she let go of Night Sorrow's arm and moved to the back of the Fire Phoenix's neck. She pulled the veil and sat down. Thank you, Sikong. Night Sorrow also sat down. You idiot, can't you come over here? The wind is so strong over there. Seeing Night Sorrow sit down at the back of the Fire Phoenix, Sikong said with some disappointment. Chapter 73. Looking at Night Sorrow's slightly red face, Sikong Chiyu understood what was going on. Night Sorrow was nervous and embarrassed. Go starter 0-inch Sikong. How about I put Tianyu away? Your Fire Phoenix is too fast. If Tianyu flies at full speed for too long, it won't be able to withstand it. After flying for a quarter of an hour, Night Sorrow said. Sikong Chiyu nodded and controlled the Fire Phoenix to slow down. Then he let Night Sorrow put Tianyu back into the beast taming space. In a day's time, Sikong Chiyu and Night Sorrow arrived at the Purple Gold Mountain. After controlling the Fire Phoenix to land, Sikong Chiyu looked at Night Sorrow. Let's go hunt the Purple Gold Beast King first. There must be high purity purple gold where it lives. I'll listen to you. Night Sorrow nodded. Okay, then let's go. Sikong Chiyu led the way in front. Sikong, what level is the Purple Gold Beast King? Night Sorrow, who was beside Sikong Chiyu, asked. According to the mission, the Purple Gold Beast King is a rank 4 beast. Sikong Chiyu threw out words that made Night Sorrow dumbfounded. Ah. Night Sorrow was stunned. He had never even seen a rank 3 beast king before. Now Sikong Chiyu wanted to kill a rank 4 beast king. Hee. Why are you so nervous? I'm the one who's going to kill it, not you. Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. I'm not nervous. I'm shocked. I didn't expect Sikong to be so powerful. Night Sorrow knew that Sikong's cultivation was high. The lowest was rank 4 spirit severing stage or above. Mo Chun, who was at the peak of core condensation, couldn't see through her cultivation. When you reach my age, you will be even more powerful than me. Sikong did not reveal his cultivation level. Then Sikong, how old are you this year? Night Sorrow regretted the moment he asked the question. It was a little rude to ask such a question to a woman. Haha, you also know that this question is inappropriate. Seeing the change in Yi Shang's expression, Sikong Chiyu understood Yi Shang's psychological situation. I'm sorry. Knight Sorrow said after a moment of hesitation. Sikong Chiyu smiled and walked up Mount Jijin without another word. The purple gold mountain had a radius of several thousand miles, but there were not many places that produced purple gold. Many people came here to seek for gold, but very few people had any gains. The most common demonic beast on Mount Jijin was the purple gold beast. This demonic beast relied on consuming purple gold to survive. Its level was not high, but its combat power was very strong. High-level cultivators disdained to dig for purple gold, and low-level cultivators could not dig for purple gold, so purple gold was scarce. Do you have a target? Knight Sorrow asked when he saw Sikong Chiyu walking forward without hesitation. Yes, I've seen the map. I know where the purple gold beast king is. Sikong Chiyu, who was walking in front, turned around and said. The moment she turned around, Knight Sorrow, who was walking behind her, was caught off guard. He bumped into Sikong Chiyu. When Knight Sorrow stopped, the two of them were only half a foot apart. Smelling Sikong Chiyu's scent, Knight Sorrow hurriedly took a step back. Sikong Chiyu also took a step back. What are you doing? Sikong Chiyu's face turned red. She had never been so close to a man before. How would I know you would stop? Knight Sorrow said, feeling wronged. Yes, let's go. It's still early. If possible, let's finish the mission today before resting, Sikong Chiyu said. Sikong Chiyu walked in front, and Knight Sorrow followed closely behind. Sikong, since you know the location, why don't you ride the Fire Phoenix directly to the target location? Knight Sorrow was confused. You don't understand. The purple gold beast feeds on purple gold, and its body contains purple gold impurities. These impurities are very corrosive. We don't know where the purple gold beast is hiding on Purple Gold Mountain, but if a purple gold beast sprays purple gold impurities at the Fire Phoenix, the Fire Phoenix will be injured, Sikong Chiyu explained to Knight Sorrow. However, he did not stop walking. Knight Sorrow understood. Riding a flying Yao beast was dangerous. Just as Knight Sorrow was thinking about this problem, a long sword appeared in Sikong Chiyu's hand. He swung his sword forward. After the sword light flashed, a light purple Yao beast that was 4 feet long and had sharp claws was cut in half. After killing a purple gold beast with a single sword strike, Sikong Chiyu continued forward. Fast. This sword was too fast. The purple gold beast was very fast, but it was too slow in front of Sikong Chiyu's sword. Knight Sorrow took out his reincarnation spear and followed behind Sikong Chiyu. Sikong Chiyu was leading the way, and Knight Sorrow's job was to cover the rear. After advancing for about 2 hours, Sikong Chiyu stopped. She twisted her delicate body and looked at Knight Sorrow. The purple gold beast king is in the cave up ahead. It's already heading outside. Retreat, don't go forward. Knight Sorrow took a few steps back. He knew that this kind of battle wasn't something he could participate in. Holding his long sword, Sikong Chiyu stared ahead. Not good, retreat. Sikong Chiyu's body flashed. She grabbed Knight Sorrow's shoulder and flashed away quickly. Knight Sorrow turned his head to look. A Yao beast that was more than 1 zhang tall and covered in purple gold scales appeared. It was originally lying on the ground, but after it leaped up, Knight Sorrow saw its sharp claws shining with a metallic light. After this Yao beast leaped up, it didn't land on the ground. Instead, it flew directly towards Sikong Chiyu and Knight Sorrow. This damned information. The purple gold beast king has reached the peak of rank 4. Hurry up and leave. Sikong Chiyu waved her arm and flung Knight Sorrow away. After landing on the ground, Knight Sorrow looked up. Sikong Chiyu's body was fluttering in the wind. The long sword in her hand was attacking continuously, fighting with the purple gold beast king in the air. Then she landed on the ground and soared into the air again. 1 man and 1 beast kept attacking each other. No matter if it was a man or a Yao beast, once they reached rank 4, they would be able to fly for a short period of time. Currently, Sikong Chiyu and the purple gold beast king were in this state. The purple gold beast king was suppressing Sikong Chiyu. Its 4 sharp claws and mouth with hooked teeth were constantly attacking Sikong Chiyu. Yao beasts of the same level were stronger than humans. It was normal for a rank 4 purple gold beast king to suppress Sikong Chiyu, who had yet to reach rank 5. If Sikong Chiyu had reached rank 5, She wouldn't have to land on the ground and fly again. She would be able to suppress the purple gold beast king in the air. You can't compare to it in terms of energy. When it comes to fighting on the ground, you have to rely on flexibility. After watching the battle for a while, and seeing Sikong Chiyu being suppressed and sent flying, Night Sorrow discovered the crux of the matter. After listening to Night Sorrow's words, Sikong Chiyu landed on the ground and started fighting the purple gold beast king on the ground. Stay away from it. It will spit out impurities. During the battle, Sikong Chiyu did not forget to remind Night Sorrow. She knew that it would be useless to ask Night Sorrow to leave. If Night Sorrow was that kind of person, he would have run away the moment the battle started. What's its weakness? Night Sorrow shouted as she stood on top of a large boulder, the place where the back of its neck connects to its head. Sikong Chiyu shouted as she defended against the purple gold beast king's attacks. This won't do. It's too strong. Come to where I am and circle around the boulder. Look for an opportunity. Night Sorrow said as she leaped to the top of the boulder and crouched down. After listening to Night Sorrow's suggestion, Sikong Chiyu led the purple gold beast king to the side of the boulder. She circled the boulder and fought the purple gold beast king. Why aren't you leaving? What are you doing up there? Sikong Chiyu was surprised to see Night Sorrow crouching on top of the boulder. A rank 1 cultivator was not running away at a time like this. Calling him courageous would be a compliment. Calling him stupid would be more accurate. Chapter 74. Sikong Chiyu, who was fighting, shouted at Night Sorrow as she retreated around the boulder. Night Sorrow, don't do anything rash. This guy is completely different from what the quest described. He's at the peak of Tier 4. I can't kill him. Even leaving is a problem. This guy's speed is too fast. Night Sorrow did not say anything. He knew that Sikong Chiyu was telling the truth. The purple gold beast king would not give Sikong Chiyu the chance to release her fire phoenix and fly away safely. What are you waiting for? Sikong Chiyu roared again. At the same time, she hurriedly dodged. The purple gold beast king, who had not caught up to her after a few rounds, was enraged. It opened its mouth and spat out a dark purple light. Swish! The dark purple light landed on the boulder, creating a black hole in the boulder. Small, honeycomb-like craters appeared all around it. The craters were still deepening. This was the effect of the purple gold beast king's poison. However, after spitting out the poison, the purple gold beast king's speed had decreased. The purple light on its body had also dimmed. It took a while for it to recover. Sikong, while paying attention to your own safety, tried to make it go crazy. I noticed that after it spat out the poison, its attack power has decreased. Night Sorrow squatted on the boulder and shouted at Sikong Chiyu. Normally he could only see 2 shadows. Just now, after the purple gold beast king spat out the poison, he could clearly see the purple gold beast king's body. Okay, don't do anything rash. Sikong Chiyu's voice was somewhat incoherent. Continuous high-intensity movements and high-intensity battles had consumed a lot of her energy. After an hour, the light on the purple gold beast king's body had dimmed. Its speed had also decreased. It had already spat out 7 or 8 mouthfuls of the purple gold beast king's impurities. Its condition was also somewhat dispirited. Sikong Chiyu's situation was not much better. The hand holding the longsword trembled. Her robes were soaked in sweat. Hurry up and leave. I can't hold on any longer. Sikong Chiyu shouted at the Night Sorrow on the rock. At this time, the purple gold beast king once again spat out the purple gold poison at Sikong Chiyu. After the purple gold beast king spat out the poison, Night Sorrow made his move. He leaped down from the big rock and rode on the purple gold beast king's body. The purple gold beast king's body was even more dispirited now, and its speed had decreased to a minimum. He exerted strength in his legs and clamped the purple gold beast king's body tightly. He held the reincarnation spear in his hands and stabbed it into the purple gold beast king's neck and head. Night Sorrow was very shocked when the reincarnation spear pierced half a foot into the purple gold beast king's body. One had to know that his arms now had the strength of a few thousand kilograms. Coupled with the fact that the reincarnation spear was incomparably sharp, It had only pierced half a foot into the purple gold beast king's body. How strong was its defense? This was his only chance. Night Sorrow knew that if he didn't seize this opportunity, then both he and Sikong Chuyu would die here. At this time, Sikong Chuyu was completely exhausted and fell to the ground. With a low roar, Night Sorrow's arms trembled as he exerted all the strength in his body. Following that, the true chi in his dantian exploded, and the vibration force was poured into the reincarnation spear. Hiss! The reincarnation spear, which had been infused with all the strength of the 7th level of the blood-refining realm by Night Sorrow and the vibration force, pierced through the purple gold beast king's neck and head. Again, Night Sorrow exerted strength in his waist, and pressed the purple gold beast king's body against the ground. He exerted strength in his arms and stabbed downward again. He wanted to nail the purple gold beast king here because if the purple gold beast king attacked again, then Sikong Chuyu would be in danger. Under Night Sorrow's pressure, the purple gold beast king's 2 front legs couldn't support it, and it knelt on the ground. This allowed Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear to pierce through its neck and into the hard purple gold or ground. The purple gold beast king exerted strength in its 2 hind legs and moved forward. Night Sorrow exerted strength in his arms and stabbed the reincarnation spear into the ground, not allowing the purple gold beast king to move. Night Sorrow's strength was great, but the purple gold beast king's strength was even greater. It carried Night Sorrow and dragged the reincarnation spear along the deep trench in the ground as it continued to crawl towards Sikong Chuyu. Get up, let's go. Night Sorrow exerted strength as he shouted at Sikong Chuyu, who was still sitting on the ground. Sikong Chuyu stood up and gritted his teeth. His body flashed, and he stabbed his sword toward the purple gold beast king's open mouth. The purple gold beast king twisted its head, and Sikong Chuyu's sword missed its mark. The Sikong Chuyu, who had missed its mark, retreated a few steps. However, it stepped on a protruding rock and fell to the ground. The purple gold beast king, who had turned its head, moved its body and raised its head. Not good. Night Sorrow knew that this was the prelude to the purple gold beast king spewing out purple gold impurities. %3 Look at #Zeng Edition Chapter C. Plus M. Night Sorrow forcefully slapped the reincarnation spear with his left hand. He leaped up and pounced towards Sikong Chuyu. At this moment, Night Sorrow's mind didn't think of anything else. He just felt that he couldn't let Sikong Chuyu get hurt. Pain. A heart-wrenching pain came from his back. After that, Night Sorrow lost consciousness. When he opened his eyes, Night Sorrow realized that he was lying on a rock. Sikong Chuyu was washing a towel beside him. The towel was covered in blood. Night Sorrow realized that he was half naked. Not far from him was the purple gold beast king's corpse. However, the corpse was covered in wounds. You're awake? I helped you kill it. Does your back hurt? Sikong Chuyu came to Night Sorrow's side, squatted down and asked. It hurts. It really hurts. The purple gold impurities that this fellow spewed out were really powerful. Night Sorrow moved his body and felt that his back was really hurting. Oh, this is because it spewed out a lot of purple gold impurities. Plus, its life was in danger, so it only spewed out a little bit of purple gold impurities. Otherwise, you would be dead. Why are you so silly? Sikong Chuyu took the towel and cleaned Night Sorrow's back. It's fine as long as I'm not dead. Night Sorrow took out a set of clothes and sat up to put them on. Don't put them on. Not dead. If I didn't bring the antidote, you would be dead. Don't put on your clothes first. Wait for your wounds to scab before putting them on. Otherwise, they will scab, Sikong Chuyu said. I can't be naked all the time, right? Night Sorrow said gloomily. Don't worry. It will scab after half a day, Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. Night Sorrow nodded and didn't say anything else. He didn't mind spending half a day to harvest the purple gold. Thank you for this time. You can't be so silly in the future, Sikong Chuyu said to Night Sorrow. I know. You're not hurt, are you? Night Sorrow asked Sikong Chuyu. My arm is a little injured, but you blocked most of it. Otherwise, even if I didn't die, I would be disfigured. Sikong Chuyu's face was a little red. At the most critical moment, Night Sorrow had hugged her and blocked the purple gold impurities that the purple gold beast king had spewed out with his back. This purple gold beast king is really powerful. Night Sorrow took out a jar of wine, opened it, and took a sip. Chapter 75. Tianji Tower is too much of a scam. Why didn't they create a rank 5 monster? Night Sorrow said angrily when he saw the bandage wrapped around Sikong Chiyu's arm. If the purple gold beast king's cultivation was 1 or 2 levels lower than what the intelligence said, it might have been a temporary change. But this time, it was 5 levels lower. The intelligence must have been wrong. Sikong Chiyu was also very annoyed. Fortunately, the mission is completed. Night Sorrow twisted his body. The ointment on his body made him very uncomfortable. Night Sorrow grimaced in pain when he twisted his body. I told you not to move. The most precious thing on the purple gold beast king's body is its purple gold beast core. It is also my mission item. I'm giving up on this mission. Sikong Chiyu placed a fist-sized core crystal that was glowing purple in front of Night Sorrow. What are you doing? Aren't we friends? Night Sorrow felt a little uncomfortable when he saw Sikong Chiyu take out the purple gold beast king's core crystal. That's not what I meant. The main thing is that this purple gold beast core is too precious. You exchanged your life for it, Sikong Chiyu said. If we're friends, then just take it. Give me the wine. Night Sorrow pointed at the wine jar in Sikong Chiyu's hand. Sikong Chiyu smiled. This jar of wine is mine. At the same time, he put away the beast core. Sikong Chiyu originally estimated that Night Sorrow's wound would scab over in half a day, and that he would be able to move in 2 days. But in reality, Night Sorrow's recovery ability shocked her. In 2 hours, the wound on his back had already scabbed over. After a night's rest, Night Sorrow could move again. When Night Sorrow could move again, the two of them entered the underground cave and began to harvest the purple gold. The purple gold beast king's cave was very deep. The two of them went 5 to 6 li underground before they reached the end of the cave. At this time, there was no light at all. They were relying on the luminous pearl in Sikong Chiyu's hand for illumination. At the bottom of the cave, the two of them saw purple gold ores shining with purple light. Where the purple gold beast king stayed, the purity of the purple gold ores was very high. Night Sorrow and Sikong Chiyu started to collect the precious materials. Of course, the more the better. C/G 1 cm P7 version. The other Ps are pirated. When they arrived, Night Sorrow had brought along mining tools, while Sikong Chiyu had taken out a long sword. The two of them began mining at the bottom of the cave. After harvesting for 2 hours, Sikong Chiyu stopped. The empty space in her storage ring was already filled. She found it strange that Night Sorrow's harvesting speed was faster than hers. Where did he put all the purple gold ores? Unable to hold back her curiosity, Sikong Chiyu asked, Night Sorrow, where did you put all the purple gold ores? Storage belt. Night Sorrow said without looking up. Sikong Chiyu really wanted to say bullshit. Was there such a big storage belt? If there was, then no one would use a storage ring. But then she thought that Night Sorrow might have more than one storage belt. After digging for 3 hours, the two of them left the underground cave. Night Sorrow had also dug out purple gold ores. That was a treasure dozens of times more valuable than purple gold ores. Night Sorrow originally wanted to continue digging, but Sikong Chiyu stopped him. She was worried that Night Sorrow's wounds would split open or sweat, which would be detrimental to his recovery. Night Sorrow didn't think there was any problem. He had cultivated all night yesterday, and found that his wounds were healing very quickly, especially when the blood-refining energy circulated to his back. However, he didn't tell Sikong Chiyu about this. After coming to the surface, Sikong Chiyu released Fire Phoenix. Weren't you afraid of the purple gold ores coming out of the purple gold ores? Night Sorrow asked. You really are a blockhead. We don't need to scout this time. Can't we just have Fire Phoenix fly high in the sky? Where is your next mission location? Sikong Chiyu grabbed Night Sorrow's shoulder and landed on Fire Phoenix's back, allowing it to fly. The next mission is to go to Thousand Mountain City and get a black ironwood, Night Sorrow said. With Fire Phoenix's rapid flight, the two of them arrived at Thousand Mountain City's black ironwood forest in a day. What kind of weapon is this? Sikong Chiyu muttered to himself outside the black ironwood forest with a frown. What's wrong? Night Sorrow didn't understand why Sikong Chiyu would say that. Didn't you take a mission for Black Ironwood Grass a while ago? The missions of the Green Tong Token and Silver Token also have missions to collect materials. This time, you took the Purple Gold Mine mission. I took the mission to hunt for the Purple Gold Beast King's Beast Core. Now it's Black Ironwood. Someone must want to forge a weapon. Sikong Chiyu said. That has nothing to do with us. Night Sorrow didn't think too much about it. That's enough. The only danger here is the Redline Snake and Fire Phoenix. These Yao beasts won't come out. Go chop down a Black Ironwood tree. We'll go to Thousand Mountain City to rest. Tomorrow, we'll go to your next mission location, Sikong Chiyu said. I'll take care of the next mission myself. Thank you very much, Night Sorrow said as he chopped down the Black Ironwood tree. Black Ironwood tree was extremely hard. After refinement, it could be fused with ores, increasing the hardness of the ores. Thus, Night Sorrow wasn't having an easy time chopping it down. What do you mean by you'll do it yourself? You're injured and will delay the progress of the mission. I'm afraid you won't be able to complete it, Sikong Chiyu said as he glanced at Night Sorrow. After chopping for the time it took to brew a cup of tea, Night Sorrow finally chopped down a Black Ironwood tree. After dealing with it according to the length of the mission, Night Sorrow nodded to Sikong Chiyu. After leaving the Black Ironwood forest, Night Sorrow and Sikong Chiyu rode the Fire Phoenix to Qianshan City and found an inn. After asking the attendant to prepare food, Sikong Chiyu nodded to Night Sorrow and said, "Let's go, I'll change your medicine." "No need. I feel almost better," Night Sorrow said with a smile. "Let's go," Sikong Chiyu said as he came to Night Sorrow's side. Night Sorrow nodded and entered the room, then took off his shirt. "Hey, the muscle cleansing ointment's effect is so strong? You're almost healed, the scabs are falling off," Sikong Chiyu said as he looked at Night Sorrow's back. "I told you there's no need." Yi Shang slowly put on his clothes. Sikong Chiyu didn't stop Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow had indeed recovered and didn't need to apply medicine. Bang! Bang! There was a knock on the door. Night Sorrow got up and opened the door. I'm sorry to disturb the two of you. The food is ready, you can enjoy it at any time." The attendant directly closed the door. "What's there to be embarrassed about?" Night Sorrow said as he put on his clothes and tidied himself up. "That bastard." Sikong Chiyu blushed. Of course, she understood what the attendant meant. The attendant saw Night Sorrow's messy clothes and thought that there was something going on in the room. "Don't scold him, he's just asking us to eat," Night Sorrow said with a smile. "It's embarrassing to be killed by you." Sikong Chiyu glared at Night Sorrow and left. During the meal, Sikong Chiyu was still a bit unnatural. "Sikong, what kind of weapon do you think needs so many materials?" Night Sorrow asked. Chapter 76. It's hard to tell what kind of weapon it is, but Black Iron Wood and Black Iron Grass are highly toxic. Add in the corrosive properties of the Purple Gold Beast Core, and you can imagine what kind of weapon it is, Sikong Chiyu said. "I understand. It's not a good thing to have someone like that in Danding City," Night Sorrow said as he ate. "Yes, we won't care about this anymore. If he comes out to harm people, someone will give us a mission. We will accept the mission and kill him," Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. "I understand. Thanks to your help, the mission went smoothly." Night Sorrow raised his wine to Sikong Chiyu. "Don't say that. I should be the one thanking you. If that Purple Gold Beast King had sprayed the purple gold impurities on my face or body, I wouldn't have been able to live. I owe you my life," Sikong Chiyu said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow didn't say anything. He drank the wine in one gulp. After eating, the two went back to their rooms to rest. Night Sorrow's body was injured, so he couldn't practice battle skills. He could only practice his chi and the myriad Tao Tome. While Night Sorrow was practicing, Sikong Chiyu couldn't calm down. She felt that something was wrong. The mission she accepted was like a trap. If Night Sorrow wasn't with her, she would be in trouble. It would be difficult to escape unscathed. She planned to go back and investigate who had given her the mission. If she endured being tricked, she wouldn't be Sikong Chiyu. After a night of practicing, Night Sorrow noticed that the scabs on his body had fallen off. After taking a shower, Night Sorrow went to the yard to practice his spear skills. Sikong Chuyu, who had changed into a light blue dress, saw Night Sorrow. She originally wanted to scold Night Sorrow, but when she noticed that Night Sorrow's body was moving freely, she didn't say anything. She knew that Night Sorrow had recovered. Let's go do the mission after we finish eating. I wonder if there will be any scars on your back, said Sikong Chuyu, who was sitting at the dining table. I'm a man. What's wrong with having some scars on my body? Night Sorrow put away his gun and sat across from Sikong Chuyu. Sikong Chuyu smiled at Night Sorrow and said, when you get married in the future, tell your woman that the scar on your back was left by another woman. Night Sorrow was startled. He hadn't thought about this problem, but he thought about it. If he married in the future, and his wife had scars on her body because of another man, he would definitely mind. Is it because you can't accept that your wife has scars on her body because of another man? Seeing Night Sorrow's expression change, Sikong Chuyu guessed Night Sorrow's thoughts. It was left by a friend. This should be an exception. Night Sorrow finished his words and started to eat. He didn't want to talk about this topic anymore. Sikong Chuyu didn't ask anything else. She knew that Night Sorrow must be thinking about something. They didn't talk until they left Qianshan City. Sikong, which sect are you from? Don't tell me you're from the Golden Flame sect? Night Sorrow, who was sitting on the fire phoenix and keeping a distance from Sikong, asked. No. Actually, I'm not from the Eastern Profound Domain. I came here to hide from some people and things. Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow and said. Sikong Chuyu then told Night Sorrow about his situation. Only then did he know that Sikong came from a big family. Because she wasn't satisfied with her family's arrangement. She didn't want to run away. This matter must be resisted. My cultivation is low. If I can, I will knock out the teeth of those who have designs on you. Night Sorrow waved his arm and said. You said it. I will remember your words. Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow and said with a smile. When I can, I will definitely help you. Night Sorrow nodded seriously. Okay, I can still hide. They won't succeed. Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. Sikong, you're so beautiful when you smile. Night Sorrow looked at Sikong Chuyu and said with a smile. You've also learned bad things. Sikong Chuyu rolled his eyes at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow smiled and didn't say anything. From the bottom of his heart, he felt that Sikong Chuyu looked good when he smiled. Sikong Chuyu followed Night Sorrow to finish all of his missions. In the middle, she accompanied Night Sorrow and didn't help him. She knew that Night Sorrow had a strong self-esteem. He wouldn't want others to help him if he could do it himself, even if it was something he couldn't do. After returning to Danding City, Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu went to Tianji Tower together. With Sikong's help, Night Sorrow quickly finished his mission and exchanged the Iron Order for the Qingtong Order. Sikong, I'm going back. Remember, there are some things you can't compromise on. Night Sorrow said to Sikong Chuyu. Alright, come over when you have time. After sending Yi Shang to the entrance of the Celestial Terminus Tower, Sikong Chuyu waved at him. Night Sorrow nodded at Sikong Chuyu and entered the beast carriage. He told the carriage to go directly to his courtyard. After returning to the courtyard, Night Sorrow saw Aoi and her maid, Chioshu, in the main hall. You brat, why didn't you come back for a few days? Don't you know it's very worrying? Why didn't you call your 11th senior brother when you went out? Aoi reprimanded Night Sorrow when she saw him. I was doing a mission with someone else this time. Night Sorrow said with a smile. He knew that Aoi was angry because she cared about him. How come I don't know who you know and who you're doing a mission with? Nonsense. Emo-chan also appeared. I went with Sikong from Tianji Tower to finish all the missions. Night Sorrow said with embarrassment. When he left, he didn't tell Emo-chan. People from Tianji Tower. 13. You have a lot of connections. Aoi didn't get angry anymore. She put her hand on Night Sorrow's shoulder and said. 6th senior sister, that Sikong is an absolute beauty. You haven't seen her. She's breathtakingly beautiful. Emo-chan said with a smile. 13. The more beautiful a woman is, the more dangerous she is. You have to be careful. Aoi reminded Night Sorrow after hearing Imo-chen's words. 6 Senior sister, aren't you a beauty too? But senior sister, you're very good to me. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Haha 13, you really know how to talk. Who knows how many people in Medicine Valley are thinking about senior sister? Imo-chen said with a smile after hearing Night Sorrow's words. You still have the cheek to laugh? 13 is back safely. If anything happens, you'll be in trouble. Aoi glared at Imo-chen. Then they talked about the mission. Night Sorrow gave a simple explanation. You're saying that the woman called Seikong killed the Purple Gold Beast King? A peak rank 4 Purple Gold Beast King? Aoi asked with surprise. Chapter 77. 13. You reached bronze rank in Tianji Tower. That's insane. Aoi looked at the bronze token in Night Sorrow's hand in astonishment. Yes, after turning in all the missions today, I reached bronze rank. This way, I can save some points by exchanging for medicinal pills, Night Sorrow said with a smile as he put away the bronze token. Exchanging for medicinal pills? What kind of medicinal pills do you want? Aoi poured a cup of tea for Night Sorrow and asked. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. I want to exchange for soul-strengthening pills. Seikong said that using 3 soul-strengthening pills in Yuan Gathering Realm is a bit too much. Using 2 is about the same, so I want to exchange for 2, Night Sorrow said. You have a lot of points, don't you? Or do you think that Taishan Peak doesn't have any medicinal pills? Do you still need to exchange for soul-strengthening pills? You'll have them when you reach Yuan Gathering Realm. Aoi stared at Night Sorrow. Imo-chen then smiled and told Night Sorrow that when they were in Yuan Gathering Realm, Taishan Peak gave them 3 soul-strengthening pills. However, because of Yu Yangyu's restrictions, everyone could only take 1 or 2 pills. 13. During this period of time, you've been going back and forth on missions, so your foundation is very stable. In the following time, you should work hard on your cultivation. Wait until your cultivation reaches the element gathering tier, before you go on missions. Before you advance, don't touch any bronze missions, Qingji said to Yishang. She was very worried that Yishang would recklessly take on a bronze mission. Okay, 6 Senior sister, I understand, Night Sorrow said with a nod. 13. Do you plan to return to Taishan Peak or stay here to cultivate? Imo-chen asked. I think it's the same anywhere, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. How about this? 11. Go back and tell Master about the situation here. I'll stay here to guard your 9th Senior sister, and guide 13's cultivation. Also, when you come again, bring back all the resources that belong to 13. Aoi said to Imo-chen. Ever since 13 came, 11 has lost his position and became an errand boy, Imo-chen said with a sigh. You talk too much, you talk too much. Qingji grabbed the towel on the table and threw it at Imo-chen. Imo-chen laughed and ran away. After chatting with Aoi for a while, Night Sorrow went back to the 2nd floor. He couldn't handle Aoi's questions were all about Seikong. In a private room on the top floor of the Celestial Extreme Tower, Seikong stood in front of the window while Enforcer Dong stood not far behind her. Enforcer Dong, how many people know that I'm here? Seikong turned around and asked Enforcer Dong. No one knows. My lord, you said that the Purple Gold Beast King's mission was a trap. Could it be targeted at my lord? Is it a coincidence? Enforcer Dong said with uncertainty. Some time ago, the Eastern Xian region headquarters sent people here. They said they sent people to all the Tier 1 cities, right? Keep an eye on the person sent over. Also, find someone absolutely reliable to go to the Golden Purple City to see what's going on in the Extreme Heaven Tower. That mission was reported from there, so it shouldn't be wrong. After pondering for a while, Seikong Chiyu made some arrangements. My lord, you're saying that someone noticed you coming to Danding City? Enforcer Dong said with surprise. Yes, those uncles at home are still up to no good. They probably found out that I came to the Eastern Xian region. I'll have to hide for a while, Seikong Chiyu said. Then where are you going? That won't do. If you don't have anyone by your side and something happens, how am I going to explain it to Madam? Enforcer Dong panicked when he heard Sikong Chiyu's words. I won't go too far. I'll stay in Danding City. It'll be best if no one notices me coming to Danding City. Even if they do, they won't think I'm still in Danding City after I disappear. Danding City will be the best place for me to hide, Sikong Chiyu said. I understand. I'll arrange a place for you to stay immediately. Enforcer Dong bowed and was about to leave. No need. I have somewhere to go. If something happens, I'll go to Enforcer Dong's house. Also, prepare 2 yuan boosting pills for me, Sikong Chiyu said to Enforcer Dong. My lord, what do you need those low-grade pills for? Enforcer Dong didn't understand. For this Purple Gold Beast King mission, if it wasn't for Night Sorrow, I wouldn't have been able to come back. He might need the yuan boosting pills. Sikong Chiyu didn't hide anything from Enforcer Dong. After receiving the yuan boosting pills, Sikong Chiyu left Tianji Tower and found a beast carriage. He circled around Danding City a few times before arriving at Night Sorrow's house on Longquan Mountain. After arriving at the house, Sikong Chiyu immediately informed the house's housekeeper, Xiao Lu, that he wanted to see Night Sorrow. After hearing Xiao Lu's message, Night Sorrow came to the house. He was very curious. Who would want to see him? When he saw Sikong Chiyu in a white robe and a purple veil outside the door, Night Sorrow was stunned. He quickly walked a few steps forward and opened the door. Sikong, why are you here? Can I take refuge? Sikong Chiyu smiled as he entered the house with the veil. Stop joking. Who can threaten you? Night Sorrow smiled as he brought Sikong Chiyu in. I'm not joking. I've run into some trouble. Can I stay with you for a while? Sikong Chiyu looked at Night Sorrow seriously. Of course. It doesn't matter how long. Night Sorrow could tell that Sikong Chiyu was serious. That's good. Sikong Chiyu smiled and nodded. 6th Senior Sister, this is my good friend Sikong Chiyu. Night Sorrow introduced Sikong Chiyu to Aoi as they entered the hall. Hello, I'm Sikong Chiyu. Sikong Chiyu nodded at Aoi. I'm Aoi, Night Sorrow's 6th Senior Sister. Aoi stood up and said. At the same time, she sized up Sikong Chiyu. She was shocked because Sikong Chiyu was much younger than her, but his cultivation was higher than hers. 6th Senior Sister, please take a seat. I'll arrange a place for Sikong to stay. Night Sorrow said to Aoi. Then he led Sikong Chiyu outside. What? Wait. She's moving in? Aoi's expression changed. It was normal for someone to visit, but it was a bit ridiculous for someone to move in. Sikong is in some trouble, so he's moving in. Night Sorrow nodded. 13. Do you know what cultivation level he is? He's at the spirit severing stage. Will he be in trouble? Aoi looked at Sikong Chiyu. Chapter 78. Sikong, wait a moment. 6th Senior Sister, there must be a misunderstanding. Sikong and I have known each other for a long time. She has helped me a lot during our missions. Night Sorrow stood in front of Sikong and said to Aoi. 13. I should also trust the people you trust. Even if they have ulterior motives, I should trust them with you. But your 9th Senior Sister is in seclusion. Aoi was in a difficult position. After hearing Sikong Chiyu's words and seeing Sikong Chiyu's clear eyes, she knew that Sikong Chiyu didn't have any bad intentions. But she couldn't afford to gamble. Night Sorrow, your 6th Senior Sister's words are reasonable. It's fine, move aside. Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. 6th Senior Sister, no matter who it is, if they want to hurt my 9th Senior Sister, they will have to step over my dead body. But I really can't let my friends be disappointed. Sikong, I will accompany you to find a suitable place in the city. Night Sorrow stepped aside and walked outside. He knew that Aoi did the right thing. After all, she didn't know Sikong Chiyu. All right, go arrange a place for her. Don't go to the lake. Aoi sat down. She knew that Night Sorrow and Sikong Chiyu had a good relationship. If Sikong Chiyu left the courtyard, then Night Sorrow would never be able to untie the knot in his heart. I will go later. I will accompany 6th Senior Sister to have a cup of tea. Sikong Chiyu entered the hall and sat down. I am very sorry. If it was any other time, I would welcome 13's friends with a banquet. But my junior sister is in seclusion, so I cannot drink. Aoi said. I understand. It is your junior brother and sister's fortune to have a senior sister like you. Sikong-Chiyu said as he took a sip of tea. My junior brothers and sisters don't come from good backgrounds. They are all orphans and I am their elder sister. 13. Go and arrange a place for Miss Sikong to stay. Aoi waved at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow took a look and left with little Six when he felt that there was no problem. Sikong 13 is Night Sorrow. He's still young and doesn't know anything about beauty. His friendship with you is genuine. He doesn't have any friends, so I hope you won't hurt him in the future. Aoi sighed. She knew that Sikong-Chiyu was destined to be a hurdle in Night Sorrow's life. Sikong-Chiyu was too beautiful. Aoi had seen countless people, but she had never seen a woman with a better figure, appearance, and temperament than Sikong-Chiyu. It might not be a big deal now, but when Sikong-Chiyu's life changed in the future, Night Sorrow would be a hurdle. I know. Genuine friendship is hard to come by. He saved my life the day before yesterday and his back is still full of scars. So I won't hurt him. I just don't understand. Do I look like a bad person when I call you Six senior sister? Sikong-Chiyu was really in a dilemma. Aoi seemed to think that she would definitely hurt Night Sorrow. That's not what I meant. You'll understand slowly. If I offended you in any way, I'm sorry. Aoi cupped her hands and said. Sikong-Chiyu shook her head. She really didn't mind. She knew very well that Aoi had been protecting her junior brother and sister ever since they met. The three of them had dinner together. Night Sorrow finished his food quickly and nodded at Aoi and Sikong-Chiyu. Six senior sister, Sikong, I'm going to cultivate. Looking at Night Sorrow's back, Aoi shook her head helplessly. How heartless. You're right to be worried about him. He's as simple as a blank piece of paper, Sikong-Chiyu said. Aoi didn't go to rest. She had to pay attention to the safety of the courtyard because Yang Lei was about to break through to the 5th rank. This period of time was too crucial. Sikong-Chiyu didn't go to rest either. Instead, she played chess with Aoi in the hall to pass the time. The two of them only ended the game when the sun rose. Thank you for spending the night with me, Aoi said after putting away the game. Sikong-Chiyu shook her head. She really admired Aoi's care for her junior brother and sister. It could be said that she cared for her junior brother and sister very much. You guys are so early? Night Sorrow came down with a towel. Early my ass. I'm going to sleep. If anyone comes, wake me up immediately. Remember, no matter who it is, Sikong, you should go rest too. Aoi stretched her back and left the hall to rest. My senior sister didn't sleep the whole night? Night Sorrow asked in surprise. Yes. Although she could sense the movements in the courtyard while meditating, she was nervous and felt uneasy. Sikong-Chiyu said. Then you stayed with my senior sister for the whole night? Hurry up and rest. Yi Shang could tell, and had also heard Qingji's words. Rest? I still don't know where I'm staying. Sikong-Chiyu said with a smile. Night Sorrow did arrange a place for her, but didn't bring her there. She didn't know where it was. Night Sorrow smiled awkwardly and hurriedly brought Sikong-Chiyu to a pavilion not far from the bamboo building. When they reached the pavilion, Sikong-Chiyu turned around. Take care of your body. If you feel any discomfort, tell me. Don't let me know if there's any residual poison. Night Sorrow smiled and waved his hand and left. He still had to practice his spear arts and mountain suppression hand. The next few days were peaceful. Sikong-Chiyu and Aoi's relationship was getting better and better. Sikong-Chiyu respected Aoi and Aoi knew how to interact with people. Her impression of Sikong-Chiyu was getting better and better. One evening, when the three were eating, Emo-chan came. When he saw Sikong-Chiyu, he was stunned. 13, you're amazing. You even brought a beauty home. When Emo-chan said this, Sikong-Chiyu's face flushed red. Night Sorrow was also a bit stunned. He knew what Emo-chan meant. H knew $max T0 fast up. What nonsense are you talking about? You can't even handle your own matters and you're worried about 13? Aoi glared at Emo-chan. 6 senior sister, I still need you to solve my problems. Emo-chan sighed. You need 6 senior sister to solve your problems? Then tell me, who do you like? I'll help you think of a way. Always said to Emo-chan. 13. What do you think I should do? I saw her today. Emo-chan looked at Night Sorrow. I'll tell 6's senior sister in a bit. Yishang knew who Emo-chan was referring to when he said he saw her. It must be Chu Lingzhao's cousin, Chu Lingfei. Okay, it doesn't matter what I do. Emo-chan nodded and sat down to eat. He knew there were some things he had to face. Night Sorrow went to talk to Aoi to avoid any awkwardness. After eating, Emo-chan glanced at Yishang and left. He was very conflicted. On one side was his senior sister whom he respected greatly, and on the other side was his lover who had waited for him for more than 10 years. If this matter was not resolved, it would be a torture for him. He hoped that Yishang's face would be big enough for Qingji to give in. You're tuning in to the Echoes of the Heart YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.